session third. So I would like to request the panel member, all the panel members for this session to be ready. So I would like to inform you that this technical session is themed for student mobility and diversity, enhancing international experience. I would like to invite the chairperson on the dais, Professor S.P. Bansal, Vice Chancellor, Central University of Himachal Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh. Welcome, sir. So thank you for being here. Similarly, we have 3 speakers for this session. So the first speaker would be Professor S.P. Singh, Vice Chancellor, the Assam Royal Global University, Guwahati, Assam. Thank you, sir. So another speaker we have from our home country, Professor Dr. Amarraj Joshi, Vice Chancellor from Far Western University, Nepal. Last but not the least, we have our international guest here. We have Mr. Kaja Las from German Academic Exchange Service, DART, Regional Office from New Delhi. Welcome, ma'am. So this session would be chaired by Professor S.P. Bansal, and he will start with the introductory remark. And the presenter will present on the theme for 10 minutes each. And a discussion session with question answer will be held for 35 minutes. And the session will end with a tea break. I'd like to request the chair to continue with this session.
There is some problem in the voice.
Hello?
Good morning to all of you. President AIU, Professor G.D. Sharma ji, Secretary General AIU, Professor Pankaj Mittal ji, and Honorable Vice Chancellors present here from Bharat, from Nepal, and other parts of the country. Speakers on the dais, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. After this mind-blowing performance and beautiful morning started by the concentrating mind, although we are late by half an hour, but we will try to finish this session. The time is 11:30. We must be in time, and I believe that we will be in a position to wind up this session maybe 11:30 or 11:45. Yesterday also there was a lot of discussion on the concerned thematic areas related to Bharat-Nepal education meet. And today we have speaker, Professor S.P. Singh. Professor S.P. Singh is very renowned academician, well known due to his contribution in academia and research. He is Vice Chancellor, the Assam Royal Global University, Guwahati, Assam. The second speaker is Professor Amarraj Joshi. Professor Amarraj Joshi is Vice Chancellor, Far Western University, Nepal. And I can say that when 2 days back I visited 2 universities. One is Gandaki University, Pokhara, and another one is the Pokhara Central University. And after discussing, really I can say that this education summit, Bharat Nepal, is at the right time. They have a lot of potential, and students have a lot of need exposure. I can say Nepal students need exposure. And the third speaker is Miss Katja Lash, who is German Academic Exchange Service, DAAD regional office. And I believe your regional office is in New Delhi. Yes. And thank you, be here, all the speakers. Till yesterday we have already discussed a lot of issues related to the higher education. I can say that after the implementation of national education policy, India is on the right path for taking ahead the globalization and internationalization of education, as about 70,000 students, international students, enrolled in India during the last year, which is much lesser as compared to about 1.3 million students go outside. Why this is a gap? Actually, now India has changed its strategy. India is converted into Bharat now. And for converting India into Bharat, now the Bharat has recognized its power. Our old tradition education system culminates the success stories, which is already highlighting the impact of our education on students' life and career, thus emphasizing the exceptional quality of higher education in our country in various ways. Maybe it's the management of higher education, maybe it's reorientation of higher education, maybe it's by giving the quality in higher education. Now the Bharat has started to change its strategic approach from what to think to how to think. Now the Bharat has started recognizing its educational values and starting producing the best minds instead of the best brains. Because when we started producing the best minds, means earlier we were producing the best brains and there was a brain drain. Mind cannot be drained. Therefore, it needs producing best minds, which is actually attached with the land, with the nation, with the national values. Our Prime Minister Modi ji many times in Man Ki Baat said, and that's the reason that when we are talking about Viksit Bharat 2047, it means when we were celebrating 75 years Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and when we are talking about the Atmanirbhar Bharat, and when we are talking about Ek Shesht Bharat Shesht, it means a lot, and it means that we have shown our strength to the whole world. Whether it was a COVID period, during the COVID period we have shown our strength, whether it is technology, whether it is defense, whether it is education, whether it is health. India has shown its power. And recently, I consider our Prime Minister a true, real ambassador. Real ambassador wherever he visited. Now, this is the strength of our country, that one country is saying that you are boss. He is not saying the boss to our Prime Minister, he is saying the boss to Bharat. Now Bharat has the capacity, Bharat has the capability to become the boss. And in terms of now, because we are here for Bharat Nepal Higher Education Summit, and India known for its cultural diversity, and India also use spark lines to showcase the diverse cultural experience which is really available to the international students in our country, and promoting cross-cultural understanding by way of cultural events as well as other activities. Now almost more than 100 countries students are coming to India, and for the showcase of our cultural immersion and integration. International students, what we are giving after the implementation of national education policy, now we have also changed our strategy to the international students, as Professor Nilima yesterday also was talking about that now the Ministry of Education as well as the University Grants Commission has changed its through dual degree program, twin degree program and joint degree program. Now it is accepted, it is also accepted by various higher educational institutions, and after accepting this model, now we are going to be the role model for the whole world. Now we are entitled to go for the joint degree, dual degree program, online, offline, offline, or offline, online. Now because many higher educational institutions nowadays offer career-focused education and imparting the skill based with remunerating the matching global education system and its realm of higher education, and higher educational institutions also illustrate the industry connections and partnerships in various ways, that thus emphasizing and enhancing the career growth prospects for the international students. In various higher educational institutions nowadays, the students are taking interest to coming India, and when yesterday I was discussing, I had discussed with various Nepali students here, and they are really interested. I was asking their options 1, 2, 3. Their first option was to come to India for taking this higher education and for research purpose in our higher educational institutions of India. We have international students very success stories, in the sense that we have Satya Nadella, who is a CEO of Microsoft, having the market cap of US dollar 2577. We have a success story of our international student from Bharat, Sundar Pichai, who is a CEO of the Alphabet. We have the success story of Shantanu Narayan, who is a CEO of Adobe. We have a success story of Arvind Krishna. We have a success story of Sanjay Malhotra, who is the CEO of Microtechnology. We have a success story of international Indian students of Nikesh Arora, who is the CEO of Palo Alto Network. We have many success stories of international students, and if I'm talking about that, we have captured almost the health sector of UK. We have captured the technology and Microsoft technology of USA. They're all CEOs belong to India. And according to Saint Augustine, the world is a book. Again, I'm repeating, according to him, the world is a book. Those who do not travel means no international exposure, read only one page. यहाँ मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा, मैं हिंदी में कहना चाहूँगा, यहाँ मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि हमारे नेपाल भाइयों के लिए, नेपाली स्टूडेंट्स के लिए, यानी कि जो बुक है वो इंडिया है. जैसे मैं कह रहा हूँ कि पिछले 3 दिनों में जो मैंने यहाँ पर डिस्कस किया, जो बच्चों की ऑप्शंस पूछी, दे आर गिविंग द फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस फॉर इंडिया. और मैं यही कहूँगा, एक बार गणेश और कार्तिकेय थे, शिव पार्वती थी, तो शिव पार्वती उन्होंने कहा कि भाई ठीक है, आप पूरा ब्रह्मांड का चक्कर लगाए ये. तो गणेश जी ने कहा कि ठीक है, और कार्तिकेय जो है वो निकल लिए पूरे ब्रह्मांड का चक्कर लगाने, और गणेश जी ने शिव पार्वती के चारों तरफ चक्कर लगा लिया, उनका ब्रह्मांड का चक्कर पूरा हो गया. यही मैं कहना चाहूँगा यहाँ पर नेपाली भाइयों से, नेपाली के इंडिया इज now progressing very fast. Now India has converted into Bharat, and now we are Bharat. When we are entering, we have already entered into the fifth largest economy of the world with US dollar 3.4 trillion economy. It means we have already surpassed. We are ahead of France, and in the next 2 years we are entering into the third largest economy of the world with 5 US dollar trillion economy. Now we will be ahead of Germany and Japan. And our target, when we are talking about the Viksit Bharat, developed Bharat, now because we have to go with the Vishwa Guru, हमने एक दर्शन तक करवा दिए पूरे दुनिया को विश्व गुरु भारत के, but very soon we are entering into the Viksit Bharat. When we are talking about Viksit Bharat 2047, it means because we have a power, we have a youth population 40 crore comprising of 106 countries, equivalent to our youth power is equivalent to 106 countries, and mostly those are the developed countries. It means we are going to be a young in the times to come, in the years to come. We have this power, and we are giving our agenda for the next 25 years when we are going to enter into 2047, developed India, developed Bharat, Viksit Bharat. According to Modi ji, our Honorable Prime Minister, give the best, take the best, become the best. मुझे लगता है हम यहाँ से जो हमारी ये भारत नेपाल समिट हुई है, ये बहुत सक्सेसफुल रहने वाली है. ये एक हिस्टोरिकल माइलस्टोन के रूप में आगे आने वाले समय में काम करेगी. और मुझे ये भी लगता है कि ये जो समिट है ये आने वाले समय में भारत नेपाल के, हालांकि बहुत हमारे मधुर संबंध है, बहुत अच्छे रिलेशंस हैं, लेकिन जब मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जब भारत जो है दुनिया का बॉस आज बन गया है, विश्व गुरु बनने जा रहा है, सुपर पावर बनने जा रहा है, उसमें नेपाल का साथ हमारे साथ होगा, हमारे एजुकेशन मधुर संबंध होंगे, ऐसा मैं समझता हूँ. इसलिए मैं ये कहता हूँ कि अकॉर्डिंग टू एल्बर्ट आइंस्टाइन, द ओनली सक्सेस ऑफ नॉलेज इज एक्सपीरियंस. दैट काइंड ऑफ इंटरनेशनल एम्फेसिस और एम्पावर्स द डाइवर्सिटी, क्रिएटिंग एन इंक्लूसिव एनवायरनमेंट दैट सेलिब्रेट दैट काइंड ऑफ डाइवर्स परसेप्शन. और मैं कल परसों से देख रहा हूँ, अतिथि देवो भव इज आवर कॉमन मोटो. आवर मोटो इज ऑल्सो अतिथि देवो भव of Bharat and Nepal, and I wish you a very success, and we have to go for a proper follow-up of after this summit. Thank you very much. And now we have wonderful speakers we have with us. Firstly, I really requesting to Professor S.P. Singh to come here and share your views. Thank you very much.
Good morning to one and all present here. I see many fellow Vice Chancellors from North Zone and also some of them from other zones. Madam Nilima is here and I'm from representing East Zone today. And the topic is very relevant, but then when the chair is so strong and take away all the statistics and all the points and all that is in the mind of the professors and the prudent people, so I think you have made my life easier or difficult, I don't know. But something has happened in between when I was listening to you. So thanks to AIU and Kathmandu University for inviting me and giving me a chance to share my views on a very, very relevant topic on the day 2. I could not attend yesterday. I landed only yesterday evening, very late in the night. Missed a very important dinner and the cultural event, but then since morning I am trying to see Kathmandu with best of my eyes, and I am in love with Nepal from quite some time from my young ages. This is my first visit to Kathmandu, and to begin with, when Professor Bansal was speaking, my fellow speakers also on dais, I was just thinking about where to start. So I thought of starting from where the journey started today, and that is meditation. So we started our journey today, and probably the meditation was the first thing happened in the morning. And when the students of yoga from this university, they were deliberating, I was thinking about my topic today, and I was thinking that one day this lot of students who are performing this meditation here today, there will be another 100 odd students from different countries of the world. They will be performing meditation in India in Kathmandu University. That is what Professor Bansal wanted to say. That is what Viksit Bharat 2047 says. That is what probably is the intent of the Vishwaguru, and that is probably the type of Bharat we want in future. Anyways, I will just turn the stage in a different direction with the permission of the chair. I'm a student of business management and strategy, so whatever I read, I have 28 slides, and I'm trying to just skip and avoid slides because whatever statistics I was carrying has already been covered by Bansal Saab. But there are few things, because right now we have around 1100 universities in India. And with number of seats, what we have in different courses, almost 30% of the seats in many of the universities, except central universities and except maybe other universities, are falling vacant. One side we have vacant seats, another side we have only 1,40,000 students, 70,000 only came to India for higher education from other countries. The target for 2023 was 2 lakh students to bring to country. If you see this growth, still we are not promising destination for bringing or attracting students of other nation. We are standing in Nepal today, and fortunately, and I would say that out of 47,000, 70,000 students last year, maximum contribution is from Nepal. Nepal is the biggest contributor for foreign students in India. Many states, especially South Indian states and Gujarat and 1 or 2 states in North India, are having more students, but other states are still very much deprived of the students from Nepal. Now when Professor Bansal was talking about that India and Nepal has to grow together, I would say, Professor Bansal, that India as an archipelago, India as a nation which has been having so many nations, small and big nations around, including Bangladesh, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and Myanmar, and Nepal. If we all will think about growing together, only then the economy and the education sector of this whole area will grow. China, on the other hand, is growing very fast. Though there's a diversity here, in United States of America, the total number of student migration, last year, 50%, India surpassed China. Although in that number of students, 50% around is Indian, 70% of those 50% are for STEM education. So still Indian students are fond of having STEM education, not humanities and social sciences. If you see South Korea is having the maximum migration to China. China is one of the very, very important destination for education for many nations, and surprisingly, especially for South Korea. So as a student of strategy, what I have read and observed with many papers, that whatever we are talking about, we have to plan very strategically, and that will have political connotations also. The countries which are trying to be technology savvy and innovation is in the forefront, they have to send their students, including India, to those countries from where they can bring in what we lack here. At the same time, the countries which are already well versed. Yesterday I was traveling with a German passenger in the flight, and flight got delayed by 1.5 hours. So 1.5 hours I was discussing Germany with her. The way the middle class, the way factories are gradually being shut down, and they have a different strategy, maybe 20 years down the line, how to revamp Germany, but not today, 20 years down the line. So that is what I observed. I may be right, or maybe that traveler was right, but that was her intention when she was talking to. What I mean to say is that education is one of the very, very important tools for growth of the nation. Viksit Bharat 2047 or Vishwaguru Bharat, or maybe what we are talking about, superpower Bharat, will not happen unless and until we have lots and lots of students who have gone to other nations from India, bring back the way China has done it, the way Korea is doing it now, the way other countries are doing it, to bring back that knowledge to this nation, and this nation, India, and this whole India, Nepal, and this area will develop. So for that, migration is very, very important of the students. Many students are going abroad, and I hope India will become a destination where most of them will come back and bring back the technology and innovation. They will learn there and grow. Why I'm talking about this? Why I'm talking about reverse brain drain? I'm talking about reverse brain drain only because our educational institution in India, if you talk about QS ranking, THE ranking, the international ranking, which is very, very important for migration of students of other country to another country. Once the student wants to migrate, they go for international accreditations and rankings. International accreditations and ranking, in my views, are skewed to West. Skewed to West means they are more into technology, innovations, and all other aspects in which most of our Indian universities and institutions are deprived of. Therefore, our ranking is not very high. Gradually, we are picking up, but then still we are less. Now, if the ranking system may little bit change in due course of time, I'm very sure it will definitely change, and it will have other aspects of migration, of students' mobility, that includes cultural aspects, global perspective, language skills, cross-cultural collaborations, perception of globalization, cultural diplomacy, enhanced academic opportunities, personal growth, and two important points I added which was not there on any of the research papers, which is very, very important in today's perspective, nation building and growth, which is the primemost thing for the migration of students. And finally, everybody wants peace and growth of economy. So if the peace will not happen, not prevail, so the student migration, bringing in all those perspectives, which is cultural amalgamation, bringing cultures together, religions together, bringing nations together, having diversity and diversity with economic growth, and finally leading to the peace of the world. So this is the important tool, therefore migration is important. Students' mobility, if it all we talk about India, we are at the at this moment of time 70,000. We want to enhance this by maybe another 2 to 3 years, 5 lakh to 6 lakh students coming from different nations. How that can happen? That can only happen the way this time AIU has organized a small setup of stalls here. We have our presence, a setup of stalls, big setup of stalls here. We have many, many stalls from India. My university is also participating. We are trying to showcase the world, or maybe to Nepal, that our nation is growing very fast. Our universities are growing very fast. We have something very important which probably is the niche area for India for education, that we are giving value-based education which is value for money. I'm using two value here. Value-based education where we have value for money. If you go to Stanford, Harvard, or right now Chicago, your 15-month cost is approximately, in Indian context, 1.2 CR. And if you talk in terms of Nepalese rupees, it goes to around 2 CR of Nepalese rupees if you go for 15-month course of computer science. My son is doing this, so I know about the exact cost, including stay. But if you come to India and you do your education and you do Master of Science in Computer Science, I think the best of the institution in private sector, even government sector is highly subsidized. So I will not talk about the fee structure of a government sector. But if you come to the private sector, the cost will not be including, if you talk about VIT, Manipal, the cost will be less than 10 lakh rupees or 8 lakh rupees including accommodation. So the type of education we are providing at maybe 20 times less than the cost of education in US is having two important components. One is value-based education and educating for life and happiness and peace. And second is that we have inbuilt very much value for money concept. So this is very important, and this we have to encash as a student of marketing and management. I would say that this is our niche area. Also, Indian, because of the demographic dividend, we are in a position to have many students going abroad, including the aging economies like Japan, Singapore, and many other nations in the world where the demography is becoming very old. Our students are sought after there. At the same time, when they are sought after there, if I see Northeast, I'm representing Northeast today, I would say that most of the institutions on Northeast are getting students from other countries, including Nepal, are in paramedical sciences, pharmacy, nursing, physiotherapy, and all other MLT and radiology, etc. They are the areas where the students are, huge number are coming, and they're coming to India to get themselves educated and be absorbed in their own nation, because they do not have that much of facilities. And the last thing, because I said I will conclude in due course of time. So the last thing I wanted to say is that the whole migration trend, we have to very strategically formulate to make it 5 lakh a student, maybe next 2 years. It is only possible when we create such a infrastructure in our country where the quality is at the prime, demand for those jobs are available in the countries from where the students are coming, as well as the most important thing, because of that, a student from India and migration from India is maximum to US, UK, France, Germany, Canada, Singapore and Australia, that they will also get enough opportunity in this country to do a job. This is very important. When we talk about education, we don't talk about job of those students who come from other nations to this country, because many times we discuss that jobs are not available in this country, and at the same time we want many students from abroad come and study here. That is not possible, in my absolute opinion. It is only possible when India will economically grow, have lot of opportunities for the students of foreign nation coming to India and getting a lucrative job here, and that will pull more and more students from other nations to come this country and study. And that is the objective, and that is my way of thinking about this part, this particular topic. And I hope we will definitely do our bit to bring more and more students to India and reverse the trend. Thank you so much, everyone. God bless you. Thank you.
Yes, after a wonderful presentation from Professor S.P. Singh, yeah, you are very right that in essence, Indian education system really, which is based on IKS, Bharatiya Gyan Parampara, serves the linchpin of Viksit Bharat and propelling the nation towards the future characterized by the prosperity, characterized by the equity, and characterized by the opportunity of all. Yes, Professor Singh, you are very true that by investing in education, we are not only enrich individual lives, but also force a path towards a collective progress where the fruits of development are shared by all the segments of the society. You are very true that as we continuing to prioritize the education and innovation by way of the brighter, more inclusive future where the promise of Viksit Bharat 2047 is realized for the generation to come. Thank you very much, Professor Singh. And now I am inviting Professor Amarat Joshi, Vice Chancellor, Far Western University, Nepal. Please.
Honorable Chair, fellow Vice Chancellors, authorities of AIU, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. I'm immensely pleased to have this opportunity to speak on student mobility and diversity for enhancing international experience. When we think of education, we do have certain expectations. We expect that it provides knowledge and experience. A humane world. We all understand that we are in a fast globalizing, very competitively globalizing world which faces a lot of challenges. Challenges of environment, challenges of the diseases, challenges of migration, challenges of refugee crisis, challenges of economic disparity. Education, too, confronts the shared problems. We are at the juncture where we have to invite the paradigm shift in the concept of value-based education. And we have to give top priority to the people, to the planet, and to the well-being of humanity by providing skill-centered, career-focused education. And we have to focus on certain disciplinary existence. We have to focus on pedagogic shift in the age of AI, and we have to face on mobility and diversity, which at points seem to be a bit contradictory. Mobility right now is just not for educational experience, but is an enterprise now. And we do have certain assumptions from mobility in higher education. We intend to recognize the importance, variety, and complexity of intercultural, intracultural, and cross-cultural encounter. We want to connect with social and cultural capital. We want to gain exposure for life's learning from this process of mobility. We want to achieve edge in the job market for upward mobility, equity, accessibility, and reducing economic disparity. We want to gather knowledge to prepare for meeting the challenges of the contemporary world. We want to gain transformative education in a sense. And we want to provide space for diversity of student body, diversity of academic programs, curricula, and diversity in terms of the inclusion of society. There has been a great shift in education since past. Initially, if we look at the 17th century scenario, global scenario, we notice the elitist mode of education provided by the universities. And gradually we notice that universities have been changing from elite to mass universities. And this shift in the university has invited, has propelled, has geared up the idea of student exchange and mobility. The European universities, till the post-war period, had just 5% intake, though to that extent elitist. And Americans were slightly more liberal, some 30%. And with the passing time, HE, higher education, has observed a certain change. If we look at the neighboring country, at India, this scene has massively changed. India had 100,000 students during independence period in higher education. Now the scene is different. The 2090 statistics is that of 35 million. China does have 45 million students, the largest enrollment in 80. And 44% of college-going age group go for tertiary education, with 51% of women's enrollment in the world right now. And women's enrollment in Nepal, it has crossed some 55.1%. And global enrollment in higher education has gone up to 150 million in 2009 to 220 million in 2020, with an expectation of 660 million in 2040. So, what about the scene of mobility in the era of globalization? Students' mobility is increasing and contributing to knowledge and economy, both cultural and with this cultural and economic globalization. And diversity has really been a major concern. Diversity, academic diversity, and diversity of the social component. And cross-cultural interaction encompasses cultural experience and students, faculty, staff, and curricular diversity, inclusivity, and equity in education has to be taken into consideration when we are thinking of students' mobility. If we look at the developed countries have been hosting a large body of students, and they are supporting national economy, while lesser developed countries remain burdened and under tremendous sort of pressure. And this is going to be a challenge from the smaller countries if we look at the scene. If you look at the scene, when we look at the statistics of students going abroad, this is the scene. If we look at US, from the US, 0.6% students are going out. From UK, 1.3% students. From Australia, 0.7% students are going out. But if we look at Nepal, 19% of students are going out. This is the picture. And if we look at the hosting of how many students are hosted by the developed countries, this scene is just reversed. Look at the statistics. Inbound mobility rate in US is 4.6%. In UK is 20.1. And if you really take the case of Nepal, right now there are some students who come to Nepal for medical education and for technical education, but the picture is still bleak. And even if we take into consideration the case of India, just 0.1% students are hosted by India. So this is the image. This shows how education is becoming, higher education through its process of mobility is becoming an enterprise that I really put earlier. So what is the intensity of mobility? It has globally increased though. Over 5 million students, 2% of the global population of students study away from home. And there is a growing influx of students in developed countries. For example, 1.1 million students in the US in 2018-2019, as opposed to 5.65 thousand in 2005 and 2006, contributing to $44.8 billion dollars to its economy. So, study abroad as a home degree has increased in US by 11%. So that's the scene. So if we look at the image of the statistics of the developed countries, through mobility they are gaining quite a lot. And this is for different purposes that we are thinking of mobility and for exchange, for home degree credit, earning degree abroad, and for all these things. But what I really want to, emphasize is that a process of comprehensive internationalization will basically minimize the academic diversity and the unprivileged situation of the underdeveloped or lesser developed countries, and will only then will be able to bring about a balance in education. So when I talk about complete type of internationalization, I mean in program planning, in curriculum designing, in pedagogic support and publication support. If we can support the smaller and lesser developed HE institutions, perhaps we can reduce the rate of disparity in terms of diversity. So what is the recent trend of mobility? If we look at the recent trend of mobility, cross-border diversity of education in the form of franchise operation, and establishment of IBC through a lot of IBCs have been established. If we look at the global scene, this is the scene of IBCs, and countries like USA, UK, Australia, they are if you look at the statistics, they are sponsoring the IBCs. Yes, I'll be. So this is the scene, if we take into consideration the case of Nepal, 57 IBCs are working in even in Nepal, and a lot of students are studying in those IBCs. So I really go to the crux of the problem at the end. There are advantages and certain disadvantages, the problems with the mobility and the whole internationalization process. So there is a possibility of decreased linguistic and cultural curricular diversity, fear of cultural imperialism, intensification of social and economic inequality, unequal distribution of resources, and threat to the environment as well, and risk of certain countries, risk of certain AGIs to be just like the ghost cities of the world. So comprehensive approach is necessary, and the remedy really lies in judicious decision making and massive improvement in home HEIs. But I wonder whether globalization and the hubris of globalization allows that. I want to recollect the analogy that a colleague yesterday came up with where he said Darya and Sagar analogy, who came up with Darya and Sagar analogy, where he said, जब दरिया सागर से मिलने जाती है, दरिया दरिया नहीं रहती. Yet, let's see things in a positive light. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Professor Amara Joshi ji, for a wonderful presentation. And yes, of course, there is a lot of potential in Nepal. Nepali students have a lot of potential, but the real exposure is still required. And I believe that in the realm of employment, the education system plays a very important and crucial role in preparing the individuals for the demand of the modern workforce, whether we are talking about the burgeoning fields such as the technology, or we are talking about the manufacturing or healthcare. Because we have already shown to the world in giving the best health services to the whole world. And similarly, now we can say that now India is on the path
for giving the best education services to the whole world in a very lesser rates. Thank you very much. Without taking much more time, now after the last presentation, we will take the questions from the audience, and the last presenter here, I am inviting Ms. Katija Lush from German Academic Exchange Service. Please, Katija Lush.
There should be a presentation up. Okay. Yeah. Good morning, and thanks a lot to Association of Indian Universities and Kathmandu University for the kind invite to Nepal. I'm coming from Delhi, but I'm responsible for Nepal too, so that's not my first visit to Nepal, actually my second one. But I'm quite impressed by the summit here, and it's a very good opportunity to connect, to talk. And I was asked to talk a bit about student mobility and diversity, enhancing the international experience. We've heard about this number already. You see that the international mobile students number is growing, and I think yesterday in the session we discussed, is it necessary to go internationally? Yes, it is. I think there is a competition ongoing, there is a connectiveness ongoing, and one has to participate, and one should make as a country the best out of the ongoing mobility streams which we are seeing. And you see the number of international mobile students has been growing over the last 2 decades, and it's predicted that the growth will be even faster in the next 2 decades. So I think it's on high time to reflect about mobility and strategy, mobility cooperation in higher education. Now, if we talked about a lot of numbers, I apologize, this graphic is in German, but you see here the mobility streams as per 2020. And what we've seen, and we discussed this already with the speakers on the panel, is that we have an imbalance between North and South, and that we have quite a stream going from Asian Pacific into North America, but also Europe. And you also see that the interregional cooperation is quite weak. An exception is Asia, where there's a lot of mobility between these countries taking place. You see a stream from China to South Korea. I just learned that the stream from South Korea to China is also very strong. But overall, I think we have to work to make this map more colorful and to bring more students from the European countries also to India and to have a balanced exchange. So I think it's high time to talk about how to attract also international students to Asia. If we talk about mobility, I would like to highlight that we have to make a distinction between different forms of mobility here. We talk about outbound mobility, these are the students leaving the country. We talk about inbound mobility, these are the students coming to your country. But we also have to make a distinction between degree-seeking mobility and non-degree-seeking mobility. We know that 90% of the numbers you've seen in the previous slide is actually degree-seeking mobility. But non-degree-seeking mobility is also a good way to connect. These are the students coming via exchanges, short-term programs, and I think there's a lot of potential also to look into these aspects and not just to focus on the economic factors and the outgoing numbers. It's always about a balance. So we used to talk a lot about mobility going abroad. I think Professor Singh also mentioned people coming back. So I think it's not just a bilateral dimension. In the discussion in Europe, we talk more about brain circulation. Now, if I would ask you how many of you have had an education abroad, I think I would see a lot of hands up. I think it's about going internationally, coming back, bringing the experience, maybe going from Germany to the US, then come back to India. All these things are possible, and I think it's about knowledge exchange, technologies, and bringing the people together. So brain circulation, it is looking in different directions and not just in the dimension sending students abroad. If we talk about mobility, we should not see it as a sacred or separate part. So comprehensive internationalization is the task of the hour. As a university, one should look into mobility. We've talked a lot about also foreign campuses yesterday, but there are collaboration and partnerships, faculty, policies and practices, curriculum and learning outcomes, administrative leadership structure and staffing, and also institutional commitment playing in, and all these should play part in an overall strategy where mobility plays one part. So what does it take for enhancing student mobility? And I will give you some examples from Germany. You've seen in the slides, we have managed quite good over the last 2 decades to increase our number of international mobile students, but also to increase our number of students which we are sending abroad. I think we need 3 things to enhance mobility. It's about policies and strategies. We need structures for internationalization, and I think India has done a tremendous good job in establishing international offices in all the universities in the last 2 or 3 years. And then we should talk about activities. What happens very often in the discussions about student mobility, that we look only on the activities, what to do next. But I think we need to go from the top to the bottom. So if you have a brief look into Germany, we have an internationalization strategy of the federal government in place, which has quite a comprehensive approach. And I think it's quite unique for Germany that our mobility goals not just address how many people we would like to attract to Germany, and you see here the number of 350,000, but there's also a clear mobility goal of how many students we want to send abroad. We want to offer 50% of our students at higher education institutions an international experience. We are not there yet. Last year we were standing at 27%, but we are working towards that. And every university in Germany has an internationalization strategy in place. That was a requirement of the government, and over the last 10 years the universities developed strategies which are focused and which help the university to reach their targets. In these strategies one should set realistic goals for mobility, addressing different types of mobility. And I think it's really, really important to find a focus as a university, not just saying we want from country A to Z. What would be your target countries? What would be the target groups you would like to attract? What would be the subject fields? And then comes the level of implementation. And I think at the moment, as far as I see it in India, we have still a bit room for improvement, to be a bit more focused and to define the targets a bit better than instead of just telling we want to attract international students. Structures for internationalization. A brief word on my organization. I'm representing the German Academic Exchange Service, better known as DART, in South Asia. We are an association of German universities, and we are mandated by the German government for internationalization. So our job is it to take care of the internationalization of German universities. And we are calling ourselves proudly the world's largest funding agency for mobility. So we supported in 2022 140,000 scholars, and I'm not just talking about bringing scholars to Germany, also sending German scholars abroad. And we have 57 offices worldwide, and I was pleased to hear yesterday that AICTE is intending to open offices. I think that's one of our success factors, that we are on the ground, that we connect universities, and that we inform about the cooperation possibilities, but also the possibilities for higher education in Germany. And we have been selecting these 57 places very strategically, countries of our interest, and we are serving the German universities with our offices. What we are doing in these offices is marketing for Germany. We support cooperation projects of higher education institutions. Currently we have underfunding with India and Nepal 65 projects. We're providing scholarships for German and students from South Asia. We take care of our alumni. We provide expertise on the Indian and Nepalese higher education system to Germany, and we also support German studies. And here's what I mentioned. We have a clear focus on not just bringing students to Germany, we also want to send students into South Asia, into the world, and we are working clearly towards that. And you see we are working on all levels, and here we have a 360-degree approach, going from full degree-seeking mobility to non-degree-seeking mobility. So what does it take to increase mobility and diversity? I think first of all, raising the awareness through information. It's very important that we inform the students about the possibilities they have coming to India, coming to any other country in the world. One needs to offer guidance and support for students and faculty already in the application processes and already in the process of departure. We need structured exchange programs for attracting students, Funding, of course, is always a question. And then last but not least, on-site support for international students. So it's a circle. If an international student has a good experience in your university, he will travel back to the country he's coming from and will talk about the experience, and then we're gonna create some spillover effects. Here's a glimpse of one of our news portals which we developed as START. This is my guide, My German University guide. What we are doing here behind this guide are all the German universities. People who are interested in studying and research in Germany can connect here, can upload their CVs, get guidance about their the credit transfer and all these things, and then they can connect directly to German universities. So we are going away at the moment from just providing information. We want to take them in the hand and to guide them towards Germany. So that's one of the examples what we are doing quite successfully as that. And as I said, behind these guide are the 420 German public universities. Guiding and guidelines is one of our core topics. I would like to highlight that we are also aiming in supporting higher education cooperation. So we published last year a guideline for Indo-German higher education cooperation with focusing on exchange program, twinning, dual, double degrees and joint degree programs. For instance, in this publication, university find types of higher education institutions in India and Germany, the structure of the credit systems in both of the countries, the structures of internationalization, but also a comparison of the regulations for twinning, dual and joint degree programs and barriers and practical hints. So it's a very first good step for universities to connect. And with this publication, we aim to guide the universities so that not everybody starts afresh when seeking for cooperation. A brief word on structured exchange programs. There's a lot of discussions ongoing also in India with the guidelines of the UGC, which has been published 2021. I think when looking into structured exchange programs, what we always recommend, also our German university, is to take it step by step. What we see in our experience that short-term programs and researcher mobility is the fundament for more structured programs in the longer run, which could lead then to semester exchange programs, double and dual degrees, and joint degree programs. In the discussion with universities, we very often see that they want to take it from the top. So our recommendation is always to look to connect to universities, bring the short-term programs into run, look if you have researchers in your university who have a connect to other countries, and then take it up from there. All these things, of course, are not working without money. What Germany has done over the last 60 years is to develop a comprehensive scholarship scheme program tackling different levels. And I just scribbled down here a couple of programs. So we have programs in place where we found inbound mobility for students and faculties. These are the programs for South Asian students coming to Germany. We have a program for working internship in science and engineering for students. Here students can come for 3 months to Germany to connect and do an internship. We offer master's scholar programs in specific domains, for instance in development studies. We have a full PhD program in place where we fund PhD students coming to Germany, but we also fund PhD students who are enrolled in a PhD in Nepal and India and would then come for a year for research stays. So our aim is also to connect to the research systems here and research stays for academicians and scientists. These programs are well known. Lesser known is that we run a set of programs for outbound mobility. So these are programs which we offer for German individuals, faculty, students to come to South Asia, for instance. To highlight the research internships in science and engineering RISE for German students coming to South Asia, 25 students coming each year to India. We have stays during master programs which we're offering, research stays during a PhD for PhD students in Germany, but also the short-term lectureship program where you could invite a lecturer from Germany coming to your university and teaching for 3 months in your university. All these programs are sector agnostic and open to all study fields. We also fund structured exchange programs. So we have higher cooperation projects in place, for instance, the SDG partnership program, where we fund partnerships between institutions in the Global South and Global North for up to 3 years. We have a program for institutions who would like to develop double degree programs, and we also have the International Virtual Academic Cooperation Program in place. And this is just 1 or 3 of the examples which we are running. The DoD currently offers for the region in South Asia more than 60 funding schemes for education cooperation. And last but not least, we're also developing, together with our partners on the ground, bilateral exchange programs, for instance, with the CSIR and IITs. These programs are co-funded, and here we are taking care that there is a bilateral exchange taking place. In these programs, it's always mandatory that also the German partners travel to India and come here over for research stays. All this you can find on our website, all the programs in detail, if you would need further information for that. I would like to make some observations from my work over the last 5 years in the region of South Asia. I think what we need is an expansion of the networking partners between India and Germany, and also Nepal I have to include. So if we belong focusing on premier institutions in India, we are trying at the moment to connect also with smaller universities, second and third tier cities, to enlarge our network also on the Indian side, but the same holds true also for Germany, to foster more mobility and to reach good talent, good students also in the smaller universities. Dual and joint degrees with Germany are in a very nascent stage. We did not find one dual or joint degree program in South Asia. A lot of exchange is happening, but I think we need to move more forwards into structured exchange, because these programs would offer also the opportunity to bring some German students to the region. And we know of the importance of South Asia as a growing region, and we consider that we need to have more Germans on the ground here to get an Indian experience and an experience in Nepal, for being prepared also for future cooperation with those 2 countries. We've seen that short-term programs work to attract students from Germany. So German students are very hesitant coming over for a full degree, even for a longer program, but summer schools, for instance, are working quite well to bring them into the region, to give them an experience, to give them a first step into the country. And we've seen a couple of students then even coming back for a semester exchange afterwards. Indian universities in Germany are not known. When you would talk to German universities, they would come up maybe with the 9 old IITs, and that it is. And I think one needs to work more towards making your wonderful offers known, making known that everything is offered in English language. I think that's one of the unique selling propositions. You cannot go to China to get an Asian experience as a German student, but you can come to India, do your studies in English, and I think one needs to work more towards making these wonderful offers and the good quality education you are having public. And in my discussions with Indian and Nepalese universities, I think we still have a bit of way to go for structures and strategies on an institutional level in India. The National Education Policy in 2020 had highlighted the importance of internationalization, and I think with the establishment of international offices, we all have done a very first good step, but I think a bit of more strategy here and there, focusing on countries, would be helpful, because resources, as we all know, are limited everywhere. I would leave it here. Thanks so much for your attention, and I'm looking forward to the discussion.
Hello. Thank you, Chancellors, for your wonderful points which you have covered and very relevant. You have already talked about the degree and non-degree seeking mobility, bilateral mobility and brain circulation, that is very important, and how we can go ahead together, enhance students' mobility, and you have already discussed. But one thing is, I really want to clear here that we, in many of the higher educational institutions, now we have a lot of that kind of collaboration. In Germany also, we are doing three major projects with Germany there in our university. And as you said that Indian higher educational institutions or Indian universities are less known. No, I don't agree with this.
Now the education scenario of India is altogether changed. And because I can say that the advancement in technology and digital learning platforms have really revolutionized the education landscape in India and facilitating personalized learning experience and expanding the reach of education beyond traditional classrooms. I have already said that when we have implemented national education policy and with the proliferation of online courses, massive open online courses, MOOCs, and digital libraries, students have access to the wealth of resources, and we have now offering a basket of courses. Basket of courses of many, we are doing this at two stages. One stage is multidisciplinary approach at the inter-university and intra-university, and second is inter-country. We are also doing, and for that purpose, we have already offered a multilingual basket to the. For example, German is there, German language is there, so that we can have a short capsule courses of German language, and our students can go there and may enroll themselves in short-term and long-term courses. Thank you very much. And now the session is open for taking your questions. Please.
Excuse me?
Professor Nilima is there. Please. Professor Mishra. Acha.
Well, I must compliment all the three speakers. They have given really very valuable information, and also Professor Bansal, who has given some data on the mobility of the students. I think whatever we have discussed, and yesterday I also made a presentation on building bridges between international education and internationalization and education. But I think all the data come out to one conclusion, and that is our students are migrating out. So if we look into the data 3 years back, we had 7.5 lakh students who were going out, and today it is 1.3 million. So just see the speed at which our students are going out. And if we compare the data of the foreign students who are coming, they're not even 1 lakh. There was a slump during the COVID period, 72,000, 74,000, right now also it is 74,000, 2023 data. So now I'm just trying to, it's not a question, but it's my concern. What Professor Bansal said and what Madam said just now, that the Indian, they had a little bit of discussion on that, that is Indian institutions are not known, and Professor Bansal said that they are known. Now I would like to come in between that. That is why our students are going out, because they find some campuses better which are internationally known. So why can't we not have those campuses at that level in India also? So that it is not only our students who are going out, they would go out, but you have to come back. We don't have any data also as to how many students are coming back. Are they settling down in the other countries, or are they coming back? That also data we must have. And if we, the next point which I am trying to stress is that if we have those quality of institutions in India, then not only our students, we can save our resources, because we did not touch the economy part. We are also losing a large number of economy, about 8 crore million money is going out every year. And we can build a number of IITs in that amount in India itself. So why not have that quality of institutions in India? We can have those. It can come out as a concern, and maybe as a recommendation from this session could go on to the government, that we can have some institutions which are of that world-class quality, so that on one hand, where our students are going out to other countries, why not those students coming to India? Based on that, like Professor Bansal says, let us boost it up still further and have those quality of institutions so that those students are also attracted here. This is my concern, and this is, I just wanted to share it with you. Thank you so much.
Concern is absolutely fine. I think this whole scenario, I think has been discussed many times yesterday also and today. Migration is enhancing, becoming more and more year after year. Going to which country is changing, but then it is increasing, and this is my personal opinion, it should increase. It keep on increasing. Only thing is that we have to change the trend of migration towards India. And that is our objective, should be the objective. And reverse migration, as I said, as you have discussed about the data, that how many students are coming back and serving the nation. But I would say that one important thing which we all have to remember, this is my opinion again, that every country has its niche area. Germany was known for something 40 years back, and many of my class fellows have migrated to Germany, and they are doing excellent there, and they have done it. But now the scenario is changing. Same way US, the visa is there, but I mean, if somebody gets 3 years work visa is a miracle. They are not giving work visas. Singapore is having a inbuilt model of scholarship that they give you 100% scholarship in NUS, but then it will sign a bond that you have to work in Singapore or a Singapore-based company for 3 more years after completion of your graduation. They have to take back the money which they have invested on a foreign student. India can also have certain models limited to, because we are so diversified. We are so diversified from IIT to, so then if at all, or maybe 25% or maybe 20% of our total education budget goes for a scholarship the way it goes in Germany and US, once upon a time in US, now in Germany, and also in Singapore. And we have the requirement of those kind of bright students to be engaged in India to contribute for the nation, though they may be foreigners. That modeling has to change. As a strategy student, those models are complicated models. Somebody should be doing it in the government. But then it has to change because our scenario is different. The jobs are also in a niche area is not there. And I was seeing the migration. Students coming to India for education is not coming for engineering mostly. They are coming for agriculture. They are coming for biomedical engineering, or maybe they are coming for biotechnology. So the area where we are having high stakes involved and where the technology and the manpower is better, there the trend will change. So this is a little complex, but I think it will crystallize after some time, ma'am. I'm very sure about it.
I would like to add something to that. So you look at the numbers. It took Germany 25 years to going from 25,000 international students to 350,000. So it's a matter of time. It's a matter of investment. I mean, the German government invests a lot in these campaigns in the offices abroad, but it's not a matter of a year or two, I have to say. And for the campuses, I would like to add, you have to make a differentiation between those countries who see education as a business, like Australia, the UK and US, where you have high tuition fees. Now, if you would look into France, Sweden, and Germany, where education is a public good and where there are no tuition fees, those universities are not looking too much into establishing campuses abroad. As for them, it's a highly cost-intensive endeavor. They are not used to it. So those countries at the moment, as far as I see, had more for double and joint degree programs, as we have a complete different background than the UK and the US, as we are not earning money out of education and international students. And then setting up a campus is a high risk endeavor and a high investment endeavor.
Yeah, true.
Just a quick observation. I'm Professor P.B. Sharma, Vice Chancellor of Amity University, Gurugram. Let me say that the session was excellent, and both the presentations which I attended
You have to take a mic
had a lot to offer.
little away from your mouth because
Both the
there is echo.
presentations that I attended, of course, were excellent. I have a small observation. For a very long time, international outbound mobility from India was prompted by
आवाज नहीं आ रही है.
the scholarships and funding that is provided by the host institution abroad, the environment of learning and earning that was associated with it, but more than that, the work opportunities after graduation from the university. Under the changed circumstances, where we are finding that more and more visa restrictions, particularly for the work permit, etc., are working in countries which were major attractions, how the situation is going to roll out in future. That's point number, of course, one. The second very quick one is that we in India also must learn from the success registered by the advanced nations of the world in respect of attracting more and more foreign students. I think India is in an opportune time today to offer many more scholarships for talented foreign students, both from the developed as well as developing countries. And we need to also create opportunities by which they could even work in India in very many projects, particularly now that the cooperation and collaboration between India and the advanced nations of the world is growing. I'm sure this will lay the foundation for a future structures of cooperation and collaboration and student mobility to India, as well as allow the student mobility from India to the advanced nations of the world. So how is Germany going to tackle this problem of restrictions coming out on the work permit, especially for the students who are going from India here? Any thought on this, Dr. Katika?
Yeah, thanks a lot for that question. I think that was a major changer for us. It's 5 years back, Germany relieved the restrictions from students coming from abroad for looking for a job into Germany. So at the moment, if you are enrolled in a German university and then get your degree from a German university, you can stay 18 months back into Germany for looking for a job. So you don't have to have a job. So the government leaves it open to you for 18 months to look for a job. A big hurdle for us is the language, I have to say. What we see at the moment is those Indian students who managing to get some German knowledge on the run during their master programs, then they will also be well equipped for the German job market, as German companies are still speaking German. But the release of the visa restrictions, these 18 months which you can stay, and that's the most liberal law which we have worldwide for international students, has been a game changer, and we've seen this in the numbers and the increasing numbers of international students. So I think it's very crucial also to know why to attract international students, not just for the sake for having them in the country. We have lack of workforce. So I think that's part of the strategy, going from attracting them, educate them, keeping them. But we also see if they would go back to India, this is a plus for us, because they would stay connected. They would maybe enter a company here, do the German Connect for that company. So it's definitely this brain circulation which we see as an advantage. So either they stay, even they would go to the US afterwards, the Indian students, they would connect and stay connected with Germany. So I think this is the long-term benefit which we are seeing.
Okay, only last one question we can take.
Thank you very much. Well, since this is the last question, I take the opportunity to express my gratitude on behalf of all my colleagues here to this panel for the wonderful job that they have done, the speakers who have enlightened us. My small comment and suggestion is related to the presentation from my German colleague. This is related to the slide that we have shown pertaining to the observations. We have made 5 observations there. And I fully agree with those observations. The point number 3 was to start some new small courses to attract the students for Germany. So let me tell you, in fact, like this is very important, whether the courses are in science and technology or in culture and languages or traditions, they do attract. In my university, we have a program, a small program, where we get the German students through this Dad Rise program. They come for internship for 3 months. They stay with us. They write a dissertation, make a presentation, go back, and we have strong ties with those universities where from these students are visiting us. Apart from that, there is a PhD program. The German students are registered for PhD program in the university. So that indicates that the landscape of education is changing in India, and there are possibilities that even the German students can come and study in Indian universities. And one example that I've quoted is that of my university. We want to go for many other programs. I'll be discussing you personally about that. So thank you very much for that wonderful presentation, and thanks a lot to this panel, in fact, for providing us the opportunity.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thank you. Small observation from Professor Sanjay.
Just a small observation. Yesterday I was having an interaction with our colleague from Germany, and what I learned from her was that German students are very keen to have the Indian experience. Can this go as a recommendation to the government of India that foreign students who are coming to India should be allowed to work in the industry for some time as it is possible in some other countries, so that would give a genuine experience. Today, Southeast Asia is the zone in the world where people would like to come and experience. So, but unless we create those opportunities for them to understand the societies so that they could market their products and services, I think it will be infructuous. And second question to my German colleague is, you said Indian universities are not very known. So any hint at the strategies which can be adopted by the institutions to be known? Should the government of India organize such events there in Germany? Or what efforts can the individual institutions make to kind of make themselves known in Germany?
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Sanjay. No, please. Now we are going to wind. Okay. Later on.
One question, sir.
We can have a.
Just one. Good morning. Thank you very much. I am Dr. Thapalial, Vice Chancellor, Swami Vivekanand Subharati University, Meerut. I appreciate Honorable Vice Chancellor from Nepal who acknowledged Darya and Sagar, which I said yesterday, that cultural imperialism, which is the threat, one of the threats of internationalization and globalization of the education. My something thought process about it, that we, both India and Nepal, are going through a very transformative changes in our education system, and probably in the hurry to achieve our targets, particularly in the area of internationalization and globalization, we are missing many facts. And one fact is that cultural imperialism. What is the Nepal
Be brief, please.
University, what are your strategy about Indo-Nepal collaboration in education sector particularly? I have seen most of your students, instead of coming to India, are choosing other countries now.
Thank you.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
Now, no more question, please. Now, thank you very much. We have a wonderful discussion, and thank you, the presenters, Professor S.P. Singh and Professor Amaraj Joshi and Madam Katija Lash for their views, and I believe that this session is very useful for the policy decision making. And yes, there is a lot of discussion, and at the end I can say that overall the Indian education system's trajectory towards achieving, again I would like to say, towards 2047 Viksit Bharat vision of developed India is firmly anchored in its commitment to equitable access, quality and relevance. Yes, of course, empowered by data-driven insights and informed policy interventions, the system is poised to nurture and generation of skilled generation, because after the implementation of national education policy, now we have a lot of emphasis on the skill-driven courses and professionalism, innovators and leaders capable of steering India towards inclusive growth and prosperity. Thank you very much. Thank you to the audience, and we can have an informal discussion during the tea time. Thank you very much.
Hello. Thank you, sir. It was a wonderful session. We heard about student mobility and international experience. So to conclude this session, I'd like to request Dr. Bhola Thapa, Vice Chancellor from Kathmandu University, and Dr. G.D. Sharma, AIU President, to be here in the stage to present the token of love for our panel members. We are really thankful for all the speakers and the chair and all the participants of this session. I'd like to request Dr. Pankaj Mittal to be here on the stage to offer the token of love for the speakers and the chair. We are grateful for all the panel members chaired by Professor S.P. Bansal, and speakers were Professor S.P. Singh, Professor Amarraj Joshi, and Ms. Kaja Las. Thank you, ma'am. So the technical session has ended for today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Padma, for successfully completing the technical session. We'll continue with the business session, AIU business session right away, and have a tea break after that. I have just two announcements right here. One venue for sightseeing has been changed, Namo Buddha. So participants who have signed in for Namo Buddha, please change to any of the Kathmandu site. And we have an information desk outside. Please record your departure time and everything so that logistic management would be easier. And those distinguished vice chancellors who have not got their conference kits, vice chancellors and registrars, and deans who have not got their registration kits, please consult Pratiksha Sakya ma'am outside in the control room. With this announcement, I would like to start the business session. So on the dais, I invite Professor G.D. Sharma, AIU President, to take over the session, and Dr. Pankaj Mittal along with him. So I hand it over to Professor Sharma to conduct the business session.
Good afternoon to this business session of Association of Indian Universities, and I will request Secretary General Dr. Pankaj Mittal to make presentation first.
You can upload the presentation, please. Presentation you have? आलोक, वो कहाँ है? पावर पॉइंट प्रेजेंटेशन दिया नहीं? रमा कहाँ है? So in the meantime, I'll tell you why we hold this AIU business session. AIU business session we hold for our member universities to apprise you of what AIU has been doing so far. For some of the new universities, what AIU is, how it came into being, what are the activities of AIU, and what new initiatives we have taken. And after we present our case to you, like what all we have done, we seek suggestions from you on what more we should do to improve the functioning of AIU, to improve the higher education ecosystem in the country, to improve, how to give more services to the member universities, how we can be more beneficial to the member universities. So this is the business session. I'll make a small presentation in 10 minutes or so. It is uploaded, but it is not visible on the screen. IT team, can you please upload it on the screen, please? इसको आगे यहीं से करेंगे. Thank you. So this is the AIU business session. So what all we are doing, we'll be telling in this. So just the genesis of AIU, how it came into existence. So it came into existence as Inter-University Board on 23rd of March 1925. That means we are very shortly going to complete 100 years of AIU. We'll be celebrating the centenary year. Next year will be our centenary year. And initially it was known as Inter-University Board, but later it was registered as a society, and we named it as Association of Indian Universities on 29th of September 1967. These are some of the former presidents of AIU. You will see the legacy of AIU by the eminent people who have given leadership to AIU in the past. This includes Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, who later became the President of India. Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, Dr. Zakir Hussain, he became the Vice President of India. Dr. Mudalia, Dr. Shrimali, they became the Education Minister. Mrs. Hansa Mehta. So many stalwarts are there who were the presidents of AIU in the past. This is the present membership of AIU. We are the largest university network in the world with around 995 universities as our members. And these include all types of universities, whether it is central universities made by an act of parliament, state universities made by an act of state legislation, deemed university by executive notification of the central government, private universities again which are state private universities, institutions of national importance like IITs, NITs, ISAs, etc. And we have 16 international universities as our members, whom we call as associate members. These are the functions and activities of AIU. We work like a think tank on higher education. We are also a bridge between the government and the universities. So anything the government wants to implement, they request us and we help them in implementing these things, for example, national education policy. And we are also a voice of the universities for the government. So if universities want to say something to the government, so we are a voice for the universities. We do a lot of consultation, coordination and liaison, capacity building and leadership development programs we do for the faculty members as well as for the vice chancellors. A lot of research is done in AIU, a lot of publications and information dissemination is done. For holistic development of the students, we also do a lot of cultural activities and youth festivals at the zonal, national and international level. We also do promote sports, again at the national and international level. And one of the mandate given to us by the Government of India is evaluation and equivalence of degrees. So going one by one, if you go for youth affairs and cultural activities, I'm sure the students from many of the universities who are present here must be participating in these activities. So youth festivals we hold at the international level, Asian level, national level and zonal level. Zonal level we have 8 competitions, rest we have one competition each. We do have AIU adventure camps in different universities, some of you must be hosting them. We have youth literary events, we have theatre, music, dance festivals. For last 3-4 years we have also started AIU moot court competition in which the law students are participating, and also AIU Women Youth Parliament. These are the glimpses of some of the youth affairs and cultural activities of AIU. In sports, again, we do 128 events again at the national and zonal level, and 128 events in an year, and year on year, every year. It's a very tough task, but AIU does it. We had, and now for the last 3-4 years, we are also doing Khelo India University Games, which is mostly inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister of India. So first Khelo India University Games were held at KEET University, Bhubaneswar in 21, second one at Jain University in 22, third one at Babu Banarsi Das University in Lucknow and BHU Varanasi in 23, and the fourth one we are just opening on 19th of February at Guwahati. We have also won Asian Universities Chess Championship, and the role of the university sports is evident from this, that in the Tokyo Olympics, 44 Olympians from the university sector participated. And for the first time, we are also holding the World University Games, which is shooting in Manav Rachna, which will be held next year, and Asian University Games volleyball in KEET. And this time, I mean last year when the World University Games were held in Chengdu, we won 26 medals, which is the highest number. I mean, if you see the number of medals, 2017 we won 1, 2019 we won 4, and in 2021 we, yes, these were known as 2021 Chengdu Games. Just a second. ये पीछे कैसे जाएगा? Sorry. नहीं वापस ऐसे करके नहीं जा रहा. टच स्क्रीन का ये प्रॉब्लम है, जरा सा छुओ. स्लाइड शो. So you will see that in the year, they were known as Chengdu 2021 because they were late because of the COVID. So we won 26 medals, and this was referred to by the Honorable Prime Minister of India in the Parliament and also in the Man Ki Baat. We do equivalence of foreign degrees with the Indian degrees, and also some of the Indian degrees, I mean, for example, PG Diploma in Management and Fellow Program in Management, which are awarded by non-degree awarding institutions. They are equated to MBA and the PhD programs. And for foreign, we are doing the International Board of School Education, degree diplomas awarded by recognized universities. And recently, I mean, last year, we were also mandated by the Government of India to do the equivalence of school boards. We have made a AIU portal for computerizing the functioning of AIU. So AIU computerization is done by InfluMnet Ahmedabad, which is a inter-university center of University Grants Commission. We have a login ID and password for all the universities. I'm sure your university must be having the login ID and password. We have an online payment gateway. We have also a AIU admission portal, equivalence portal, seniority portal. VC seniority portal, as you all must be knowing, is very, very important because that decides that who will be nominated on the governing council of AIU and who will be becoming the president and vice president of AIU. And also, sometimes the government also seeks the information on the seniority of vice chancellors. We also have AIU collaboration portal, youth affairs portal, and sports portal, which is activated. AIU handbook is in progress, and in March it will be coming out, and you all will be getting a copy of the AIU handbook. So, for example, this is the AIU admission portal, but the success of all these portals depends upon how much information the universities are putting on the portal. So, if you are putting the information about your portal, so then any student, whether a foreign or national, if they just write the name of the program in this particular portal, down will come the list of the universities which are offering these programs along with their URL, so that the student can directly go to the website and apply. So if the universities have not filled up, please do fill in your information on the AIU admission portal so that the students can have information about the courses offered by your university at one place. This is AIU equivalence portal. This is used by mostly the students who have got the foreign degrees. Again, this is a portal in which the students have to apply online. It is processed in-house, and the equivalence certificate is downloadable, and online equivalence certificate is available to the student. This is our new initiative, INHI, Indian Network for Internationalization of Higher Education. This is a network which we have specially made for our member universities to promote internationalization, because we do understand that India is a diverse country. We have large number of universities. There are good universities, big universities, and there are small universities, remote area universities, and the universities which are not very good in internationalization. So we want to do hand-holding with them so that every university can promote internationalization. So for this, INHI has been established, in which we do a number of activities, whether it is certain webinars or partnerships, or even how to establish international students office. A lot of hand-holding is done under this INHI concept. This is the AIU payment portal. This is the AIU collaboration portal. Again, this is a very good portal in which every university is expected to give the areas in which they want to collaborate, whether nationally or internationally. So if you write your area, like your area in which you want to collaborate, along with the credentials to that in terms of, say, publications, facilities, equipment, faculty with PhD. So if you write all that, then for example here you see if somebody wants to collaborate, say, in artificial intelligence. So as per the portal, the Amrita University has written, Avinash Lingam University has written that we want to collaborate in the field of artificial intelligence. So you just write the name of the subject or the area in which you want to collaborate. Down will come the list of the universities which are ready to collaborate. So it is very easy to find a collaborating portal, partner through this portal. But again, the success will depend upon the universities which are filling up this information. So do fill up the information about your university so that you can have access to, and other universities can have access to you for these collaborations. We also have AIU consultancy portal in which we are empaneling the consultants, and we are trying to give you a good consultant, persons who are empaneled as the AIU consultants. They can provide you consultancy in various fields, whether it is NAC rating, NIRF ranking, or it is, say, internationalization, or University Industry Connect, or implementation of a national education policy, or SDG. So any area where you want the consultancy, you can come to AIU for consultancy through the AIU consultancy portal. At the same time, if you or any of your professors want to enter into consultancy, they can write to us and we can empanel them as a consultant also. These are the zonal meets of AIU which were held in 23-24 on digital transformation, Bharatiya knowledge system, future of work and skill development, nurturing research and innovation system, and the last one is Kathmandu University, which is on globalization and internationalization of higher education. So for this year, all our 5 zonal meets are over, and now we'll be having the national meet, which will be the 98th annual general body meeting, which will be held in ICFI University in Hyderabad from 4th to 6th April. So please block your diaries. All of you must be there. This is a conference in which the main theme will be higher education at 2047, that how the higher education ecosystem will be in 2047. These are some of the new initiatives in internationalization. I told you we have established INHI, which is Indian Network for Internationalization of Higher Education. We are also signing MOUs with American Institute of Indian Studies, SAMCA, British Council, Australian High Commission, DAD. We have also developed the SOP for foreign boards in India. We are signed an MOU with EDIFI online. And as per this, you can get the foreign teachers for your university, online foreign teachers for your university. And since the foreign faculty is very costly, so what we are doing is that we are forming a university cluster. So a cluster of 5 universities which are having the same program. So they can offer these programs at one shot, so thereby reducing the cost of the foreign faculty to 20%. So these type of initiatives we have done with respect to foreign faculty. And for foreign students, we are holding education fairs. You are also seeing the Bharat Nepal Higher Education Summit, which is going on. And I just went out, something like 500 students were there. So a lot of students are there. So both for increasing the student mobility and faculty mobility, both we are working. These are the MOU signed with the various associations, means like we have Association of Indian Universities, we have Association of Mexican Universities, UK Universities, Canadian Universities, Australian Universities, then Taiwan Universities, which is Fitchett, Sudanese Universities, British Council. So these are the associations with whom we have signed an MOU. So that these MOUs help us in sort of facilitating the collaboration between Indian universities and the universities located in these countries. So any of you, if you want to collaborate with a university which is located in any of these countries where we have an MOU, we'll be too happy to help you out. Then AIU consultancy services, I have already told. We have a program called Anveshan, which is a student research convention in which the students submit the research projects, they are evaluated and prizes are given to them. So this is a way to catch them young and to promote research at the student level, at the UG, PG level. So this year we have digitized and internationalized Anveshan. So in that we will be having a student from, say, foreign university and an Indian university collaborating with each other to submit a project. We have also established 19 academic and administrative development centers in different universities for imparting training to the faculty on use of technology for teaching, learning, research and governance. So these AADCs are working very well. We are also coming out with a national policy on blended learning in collaboration with SEMCA. We also constituted a committee to see the impact of AI on higher education institutions. The report is almost ready, so very soon you will be getting this report also. And because we are going in for the 100 years of AIU, we are also in the process of writing history of AIU. These are some of the research publications which we have done in the last 3-4 years. There have been 3 books. I'm sure you must have received all these books, all these reports and all these monographs. So we have Reimagining Indian Universities, Implementing NEP, Indian Higher Education Heritage. These are the 3 books. There are some books in making. One is on SDGs. AIU, then we also have reports like AIU report on students' welfare measures, AIU report on ranking, rating and accreditation. Professor P.B. Sharma was the chairman of this committee. AIU report on addressing the needs of differently abled persons. And then monographs on national education policy, Indian higher education profile, SDG report. So many publications we are coming out with. This is a sort of a screenshot of the front page of these publications so that you can remember whether you got it or not. And if you did not receive it, do tell us. We will again send you a copy. Again, this is on building a sustainable future. I mean, these are some of the publications which we have done in the past 3 to 4 years. Thanks for patient hearing. So this was a short glimpse of what we have been doing this year and for last 2-3 years. And if you have any suggestions, we'll welcome the suggestions because we are evolving. We want to be ever improving. So suggestions are welcome. Thank you. Anyone?
Hello. Good morning, ma'am. First, I would like to congratulate you, AIU, for organizing such a big and beautiful conference on internationalization. I have some suggestions since you have invited them. I am giving some suggestion. In India, presently, there are about 400 to 500 government university and the same number private university. I come from Madhya Pradesh, from Indore University as a professor of biochemistry. Now, if you look at it, 18 government university, but for example, you take the case of scanning electron microscope, which is present in Sagar University. There is a greater need for internalization, localization, so that the research output of all the universities together increases. For example, Hari Singh Gaur is very good in pharmacy, but the student is unable to get the access to that kind of structure we have. There is a greater need for internalization. In older times, there used to be a center of excellence promoted by UGC. Those should become the center of research. Today, most of the universities are concentrating on teaching rather than on learning, rather than on research. Only they possibly, I'm sorry to say, the government universities are more concentrating on research and learning. Others are forced to be in teaching shops. So there is a greater need for collaboration within India, within a state, within the central university. This is very much required now. In order to grow, we are comparing with Europe. Europe is 100 crore with 29 nations. We are 140 crores, and therefore our role should become bigger within the country itself. So internalization, promotion is very important. I appreciate, and on behalf of Vice Chancellor, I thank you.
Just in continuation of what Professor already said, AIU is doing a wonderful job in ensuring that the degree recognition of the different countries, I mean, it's well taken care of. But still there are issues. For instance, now, just to give one example, the Pharm D, if someone does Pharm D in India, if he comes to Nepal, it is not recognized. Similarly, some of the degrees here are not recognized in India. I think there is a need for looking into this aspect. And if at all there is one agency which can work on these areas, that is AIU, we have that great expectation from our Association of Indian Universities, and I would like to have your response on that. I am Professor Muditaya, the Vice Chancellor of NITE University, Mangalore.
So just to inform you that we are doing equivalence of foreign degrees for general subjects and engineering and technology. For pharmacy or maybe there are professional councils who are doing it. So this has to be referred to the concerned professional council. So but we can refer it to them.
Thank you, madam. I have just one suggestion with regard to private university systems in India. There, All India University Association can contribute through UGC. So for the autonomy of Vice Chancellors and appointment of Vice Chancellor following UGC parameters with regards to functioning, scales, even of faculty, there is something I think everybody will agree that private universities are not following UGC in toto. AU can through UGC go on the private institutions so that when quality leaders and quality faculties is there in place, many of the internalization and the students exchange, everything could be possible. This is just my suggestions, please.
Thank you. I am Dr. Jianan, Vice Chancellor of Shobit University, Meerut. As a previous professor said that, if we see the migration of the students, it is because of the ratios which we cannot provide in our institution. That is why the student is migrated in other organization or abroad even. And being AIU, you have biggest organization in the education sector, and around of 1,000 members institutions are there. Can you have the consortium of infrastructure, teaching manpower? Either the student is migrating because of the better teaching facility, infrastructure facility, experimentation facility. In our member colleague, can we have our own treaty that if I'm having, as sir said, that scanning electron microscopy is available in somewhere, so can we have AIU, in the AIU, the set protocol that you have to put up the request, and then after the organization which is having that kind of infrastructure, you may avail those facilities for your own students. So you can do being the AIU. That is my question, ma'am.
So you're saying that we should prepare a sort of a directory of the infrastructure available in various universities?
Yeah.
So that if sharing is required amongst member universities, that can be done.
Very true. We can develop the knowledge grid kind of thing for infrastructure as well as for the teaching resources. Thank you.
Any other suggestion?
Hello? Hello? For a very long time, we have been focusing on the macro and major issues, aligning our AIU activities and initiatives to the national missions and goals and policies. But we are in an age which is characterized by micro and nano. And therefore, the new initiative that we need to coin now in order to serve the cause of globalization, internationalization of higher education, need to go beyond the macro understanding. I would suggest that AIU opens a new initiative, a new portal for attracting foreign students to Indian universities. Even establish a help desk for international students who are already here, so that they could send the message that here in India, AIU is one of the greatest facilitators for attracting the foreign student to India. Their minor issues can also be addressed by this help desk that we set up. And we already have great experience of and understanding of the foreign qualifications, and therefore we have handled, of course, our own students also who go abroad. They also require tremendous amount of support before they go abroad for the outbound mobility. So in my opinion, I think we need to now think what can be done to address some of the micro issues at the level of the student community, both coming to India and AIU acting as a major facilitator, so that they see India as a cost-effective solution for high-quality education, and at the same time counseling our own students going abroad through our international portal, so that they go to the right place, to the right university, and do not regret thereafter. As a Vice Chancellor, I have seen many cases where students have gone abroad and they have come back with certain problems. They could have been handled much better had they been counseled well before they go. So I think that kind of initiative, in my opinion, would also be very much required now that the time is right for us to facilitate much greater inflow of foreign students to India, and also to counsel our own students to go to the right places, to the right universities, and get the right qualifications. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Any other suggestion?
A very good afternoon to all of you. I myself represent AIU. So the most important concern is, in the country, everybody's talking about implementation of NEP 2020. Rigorously, UGC is now organizing North Zone, Central Zone, South Zone, Eastern, Western, every zone, they're having their meetings for the implementation of the NEP 2020. We're talking about that abolition of the boundaries in education should not be there, as it is already there in the West. But now India is trying to, come to that if I am a physics professor and I want to study the economics, I must have an access to do that also. But similarly, what is happening, one side, we're talking about the interdisciplinary culture, transdisciplinary culture, but whenever there are advertisements from the government sector, they always specify that you need to have the PhD degree in this particular area. We are not aligning. What is happening actually, it's creating a lot of confusion in the mind of students about the faculty members and the people, those who are really looking for the jobs. That one side we are talking about the interdisciplinary culture, but the other side, still the barriers are not been abolished. So I want the AIU to really take up this matter ahead, that the government need to change their policies if we are changing the education system by involving the NEP 2020, giving way to every interdisciplinary approach to it. Then whenever we have the advertisement from the government, we really need to look into that matter. So that is my personal request to Dr. Pankaj, that we should really think on these lines and aligning government policies with the NEP 2020. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Uma. But just one thing I want to mention here is, because my parent office has been University Grants Commission and I have been there. So when we were making regulations that PhD or Masters should be in what subject? So from UGC side, we said Masters and PhD should be in the relevant subject, and relevance has to be decided by the concerned university. It was never mentioned that it should be in a particular specific subject domain. So I feel that it is for the universities to take a call on this rather than the regulatory bodies. From their side, the flexibility is already there, that it should be in the relevant subject. So universities should be taking a call on this and say that, okay, as a university vice chancellor, I am allowing interdisciplinary area, and this is what I feel is relevant for teaching this particular subject.
Yeah, the universities are already taking care of that part, but whenever there are job opportunities from the government side, then these boundaries are not been abolished. So that is my whole concern, that if we have still the advertisement that you should be PhD in that particular area, then only you are considered for this particular position. We have already abolished these boundaries, but the government really need to work on these lines. That's only my concern. Thank you.
I think there is no more any suggestion coming forward. I take this opportunity to thank each one of you for giving very important and also forward-looking suggestions. We'll try to include and also try to deliberate on these suggestions, how they can be the part of our AIU functionaries. I would like to mention one thing, that as you have seen, the Khelo India program, particularly the sports division, is taking very, very vibrant and active role in this. And because of the so many medals coming to India, the AIU is also planning to have excellence center of excellence in sports in 5 zones, so that on behalf of the AIU will hire even international coaches in those zones where students in particular sport is having potential to go to the Olympic level, Asian level, and therefore AIU has identified sports also as one of the area where youth can be given this kind of the support from AIU. This is just to make mention that the coming future for the sports we have seen is very, very bright, And AIU feels that those universities which have very good sports facility, they have also specializations in particular sports, but due to the lack of funding or like this, or specialized persons unable to train the youth up to the international level, that's what we are trying to do. In last 4 zonal meetings also some suggestions have come. So all these suggestions will be compiled, put together, so that some area which will be coming will be taken as on a very, very systematic and also in a very strong persuasion level. Because you have seen that the higher education pattern, even the lower secondary level also, it is changing due to the new education policy, the NEP 2020. So to align this change, the reorganization and also taking the education to different level, both within the country movement as well as movement outside the country, how it can be taken care and how we can help students to provide the same quality of education in our country, because nearly 18 lakhs in total students are going abroad. So this is also one way in which AIU is working, how this can be facilitated, and those universities which have enough infrastructure, they have enough qualified professors, and also they have their vision to go for the new areas and attract the students from outside, as well as provide more facilities to Indian students. This is also one of the area where AIU is planning to work out some systematic manner. So only these few things I am giving you. In future. Recently those GC and others have taken care. I would also like to mention that the government of India has also given responsibility to AIU to see how the school board can be given to private organizations if they are following all those quality parameters. This is again the new initiative, particularly to align the higher secondary to the higher education. And also, as a facilitator, AIU, they are giving more responsibility in different aspects. So we will be trying to take these things and also to strengthen AIU in more areas existing also. But I would like to mention that the new experiment which we have initiated, you all have witnessed, this Indo-Nepal Higher Education Summit is giving very positive response that we are now planning to hold to other neighboring countries like Bangladesh, Bhutan, other countries, maybe in different form, also to further improve it based on the experiences we are gaining from this exhibition. So this will also provide more visibility of Indian university system, as well as those Indian universities which have better facility and all these things, as has been pointed out. And the suggestion is very good that we will make a list, means a directory of those facilities which are given by DST or UGC for sophisticated instrumentation center, etc., which can be made available to other universities, because those are the national facilities and the access to these facilities can be there to any universities. Many times what we have observed, that the facility is created but support system is lacking. I will give you one example. The accelerator established by the help of DAE and DST costing nearly 60 crores, but users are very less because the support system is not provided by these funding agencies. So this is also, we will try that wherever this sophisticated instrumentation is available, how this can be made more vibrant in the usage, particularly from that angle. So not taking much time, I take this opportunity once again to thank each one of you. I would also like to make a request to all other universities in Nepal, kindly become the member of AIU so that AIU can provide better, more support, as well as more our activities can reach through this making consortium of those universities in future programs, etc. The another request is, I will request, because some of the universities may be making payment through check or like this, kindly use the portal so that the mistake from our side will not be there. Many times we receive the, you can say from registrar, or we see that we have already paid the membership, but the letter is coming from AIU. It is because of this problem that the payment is made by the check or like this. So kindly make payment from the portal. It will be having more transparency to us also, accountability for us also. So only these two requests from our side. Thank you very much.
Go for the whole country.
Thank you, Professor Sama and Professor Mitchell. Now we move on to tea break for 30 minutes. And we'll start the valedictory session, waiting for the Minister, Honorable Minister of Education, Science and Technology. So I announce the tea break for 30 minutes. Thank you. Thank you. After this, I request Professor Dr. Volathafa, Vice Chancellor of Kathmandu University, for welcome address.
Namaskar and good afternoon. Honorable Minister of Education, Science and Technology and Pro-Chancellor of Kathmandu University, Mr. Ashok Kumar Raiju, respected Vice Chancellors, President of Association of Indian Universities, General Secretary of Association of Indian Universities, all the AIU officials, esteemed delegates, higher education leaders, honored guests, journalists, my fellow colleagues. Good afternoon. As I welcome you all to the valedictory session of AIU North Zone Vice Chancellors Meet 2023-24, I am filled with immense pride and gratitude. This conference has been inscribed in the history book of Kathmandu University, both for its sheer scale and the range of issues discussed. I extend my heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you for your graciously accepting our invitation and honoring us with your presence at this grand event. Over these 2 days of this meet, we have formed our new connections, shared our values, exchanged our unique ideas, and are poised for forge a new beginning for higher education in South Asian and Asian region. Even after spending 3 decades in academia, I have today found myself assuming a role of a student, and so is of my colleagues, humbly absorbing the profound ideas deliberated during this meet. Concurrently, the Bharat-Nepal Higher Education Summit is underway, featuring participating universities and the academic institutions showcasing their educational offerings. Together, these events exemplify the essence of internationalization envisioned by leaders of higher education in the Asian region. This BC meet has initiated the dialogue on internationalization and globalization of higher education in our region. The discussions have emphasized the need for us to understand each other's interest better so that we can become even more competitive globally. In the course of these 2 days, I have learned that there are some issues that we need to emphasize. These are related to harmonizing the policy at the South Asian level, expanding transboundary higher educational collaborations, and partnership for academic programs, and similarly exploring rigorous research collaborations in the regional and international levels. I hope that this year becomes the year of collaboration and partnerships among our members' universities for globalized higher education standards. As we begin to close the AIU North Zone's Vice Chancellors Meet for this year, let us carry forward the spirit of collaboration and commemorate the right that has defined our interactions over the past couple of days. Let us continue to leverage our collective wisdom and experiences to address challenges that confront us and create new opportunities together. Once again, I extend my sincere gratitude to each and every one of you for your active participation and invaluable contributions to this event. And I warmly welcome you all to join us for what promises to be memorable to the concluding session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite Honorable Registrar, Professor Dr. Achyut Wagle, for the presentation of today's report. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Honorable Chief Guest of the valedictory session and Pro-Chancellor of Kathmandu University, Ashok Kumar Raiju, Chair of AIU, Professor G.D. Sharma, Professor Mittal, other dignitaries sitting on the dais, respected Vice Chancellors. I am asked to, as per the AIU tradition, this report is probably normally presented by AIU General Secretary. Since it is held in Kathmandu for the first time, thank you for this opportunity to present from the host institution side. As you know, the report will be pretty long, and that would be coming out in due course of time. I'm just taking, I know I'm standing between your lunch and your hungry stomach, so I will not be taking long time. One key word that has come across and resonated is the collaboration. Collaboration on transboundary level, collaboration among the disciplines, collaboration among the institutions, and collaboration among the apex bodies of, at least between Nepal and India for now. Fostering a transboundary approach to higher education in the region is thought inevitable. This indicates the recognition of the importance of collaboration across borders in shaping the future of higher education. As you know, we have had all total 7 sessions. The first was inaugural, where Right Honorable Prime Minister graced us despite his busy schedule. Then there was a meeting of the apex body convened by AIU. Then we have had the 3 technical sessions, namely the international collaboration and partnership building, bridging for higher education. The second technical session was global higher education policy and regulations, harmonizing standards. Third technical session on student mobility and diversity, enhancing international experiences. Another session was on AIU business, and this is the last valedictory session. There is a need, the presentation expanded that there is a need for expanding higher education institutions, seeking approval for All India Council for Technical Education type of approval with the different related regulatory bodies. The recommendation for universities to actively pursue accreditation and approval processes to expand their offerings. Transforming agricultural education came very prominently, which is vital to foster innovation and entrepreneurship. It seeks a structural expansion of agricultural education system to prioritize job placement and align with the national missions. The need for internationalization of higher education is also to be addressed in future. It seeks systematization of initiatives such as twinning programs, joint degrees, and dual degree models to promote international collaboration. Also, it seeks to establishing centers for advanced research as a focused dimension for future collaboration in higher education. Universities need timely intervention for comprehensive approach to internationalization in education. The initiation looks for whole of the government agreements and a new vision for education, as well as support from local institutions, businesses, and communities through regulatory flexibility, quality assurance mechanisms, collaborative frameworks, and digital transformative infrastructure to facilitate internationalization effort. There is a need to establish physical centers for global education. It highlights the proactive approach to promoting education abroad through public-private partnership and collaborative investment, starting with study exchange and study abroad programs. Standardization of educational policies is paramount, particularly in addressing variations in university standards and program provisions. It seeks concrete quality assurance policies aligned with global standards to address concerns such as faculty-student ratio, credit hours, and academic and administrative initiative, including ABC, we have discussed it extensively, where we have started shifting the orientation of higher education from what we think to how we think. Students' mobility and diversity is the issue that India and Nepal can head forth with the Bharat-Nepal Summit for Higher Education. There is a need to focus on value-based education, affordability and quality higher education to reverse the trend of out-migration and out-mobility of the students from the entire region. We probably need to bank on the strength of South Asian values and culture, but that should also be made marketable for the international students as an academic degrees. Lastly, we had the business session from AIU that talked about a common platform, the possibility of the common platform like in research, in collaboration, in scholarships, in admission search and all. And in brief, in these 2 days, we probably explore all the avenues, possible avenues of collaboration, future interactions, and most of all, probably we could cultivate the human level of contacts and relationship that can build on any productive aspect of our cooperation and collaboration. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for highlighting the main themes from the last 2 days, last session's deliberations. At this point, I have a simple, very short program of felicitation. On behalf of Punjab University alumni and Professor Tankeshwar Prasad, the Vice Chancellor of Central University of Haryana, Dr. Amarendra Pani, Dr. Dinesh Chahal, and Dr. Kherat, would like to felicitate Professor Dr. Bhola Thapa, the Vice Chancellor of Kathmandu University, as an alumnus of Punjab University, Chandigarh. And they also have a gift for Honorable Minister, Mr. Ashok Kumar Rai.
Thank you. This is from our side, or India side you can say, and in these 3 days program we are talking about the internationalization of higher education. और उसके लिए सर अकेले MOUs मैडम हस्ताक्षर नहीं, हाथ भी चाहिएंगे जो हम नेपाल के साथ और दूसरों के साथ मिला पाएं. वो हमारा एक मकसद है, डिफरेंट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ यहाँ पे आई हैं और ऑलवेज वी आर स्ट्राइविंग फॉर द बेस्ट. बेस्ट मीन्स भारत एजुकेशन में, ई मीन्स एजुकेशन, साइंस और स्किल्स और टेक्नोलॉजी में कैसे हम पार्टनरशिप कर सकते हैं. दैट इज़ द मकसद ऑफ दिस कॉन्फ्रेंस और वर्कशॉप. और मैं भोला साहब आपके लिए कह रहा हूँ, 3 दिन से हम देख रहे हैं, 3 दिन से लोग, कमी कुछ रही नहीं इसलिए मैंने कही नहीं. अब इसमें जब सब हम बाहर जाते हैं, मैं सबकी तरफ से, सबकी आवाज बन के कह रहा हूं, पूरे जो भी हमारे साथी आए हैं AIU की तरफ से, कह लीजिए इंडिया की तरफ से, उसमें बाहर जब जाते हैं हम ये देखते हैं खाना पीना कैसा होगा, रहना कैसा होगा, तो आना जाना कैसा होगा. आना बहुत अच्छा रहा, जाना भी अच्छा होगा, खाना पीना रात को बहुत अच्छा था. तीसरी चीज जब हम जोड़ते हैं गाना नाचना, वो भी बहुत अच्छा था. और अगली चीज घूमना फिरना, वो भी अच्छा इतना होगा. जो फिरना वर्ड है, हम फिर बार बार आएंगे, ये मैं इनको एश्योर करता हूं. तो हम सब की तरफ से मैं कहता हूं, ये एक MBA जो आपने दिया है, MBA क्या है? दैट इज मोस्ट ब्यूटीफुल एसोसिएशन विद योर यूनिवर्सिटी एंड AIU. दैट इज द मोस्ट ब्यूटीफुल एसोसिएशन. ये इसी तरह से बनी रहेगी. और इसी तरह से जो थापा साहब आपका नाम आता है STUV, S मीन्स ड्यू टू योर स्टूडेंट्स, वॉलेंटियर का जो जील था, इंथुजियाज्म था, और T के बाद आता है U, और V वाइस चांसलर्स ने सबने इतना एंजॉय किया. तो दैट इज द गुड थिंग. वी आर वेरी थैंकफुल टू यू एंड योर टीम एंड वी विश यू अ गुड लक. जय भारत, जय नेपाल. थैंक यू सर. थैंक यू.
Thank you. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Pankaj Mittal, Secretary General, Association of Indian Universities, for a short address. Dr. Mittal.
Thank you. Honorable Minister of Education, Science and Technology, Shri Ashok Kumar Rai ji, the President of AIU, Professor G.D. Sharma ji, the Vice Chancellor of Kathmandu University, Professor Bhola Thapa, the Registrar of the Kathmandu University, Dr. Achyut Wagle ji, the Joint Secretary AIU, Dr. Alok Mishra, the Editor University News, Dr. Rama, the Vice Chancellors of universities from India and Nepal who are present here, the participants to the Bharat-Nepal Higher Education Summit, the faculty members, staff, and students from Kathmandu University and other Nepali universities. And also, we saw a huge number of students from the schools of Nepal who visited the Bharat-Nepal Higher Education Summit. A very good afternoon to all of you, and welcome to the valedictory session of the AIU North Zone Vice Chancellors Conference and the Bharat-Nepal Higher Education Summit. First of all, I must express my thanks to Kathmandu University, especially the Vice Chancellor, Professor Bhola Thapa, the Registrar, Professor Achyut Wagle, the coordinator of the summit, Dr. Uddhav, the coordinator of the AIU North Zone Conference, Dr. Gocharan, the Director of Community Engagement, Mr. Ketharul Khaman, who had specially brought so many students for the summit. And I mean, the success of the summit lies in the number of students who visit the summit. We are also thankful to EPSI. They helped us a lot in terms of organizing the summit and also in terms of bringing the students from various schools of Nepal to the summit. All the nodal officers, all the teams, I mean, there were many teams for transportation, for accommodation, for everything. There were so many teams. So all the nodal officers and the students and the teams who were participating in all these activities, because this takes a lot of time, lot of energy, lot of effort. I know for so many days they were training the volunteers. They were doing so many activities. So I must express my heartfelt thanks to all the team of Kathmandu University and the team of AIU, which has also been working very, very hard. We had Dr. Pani and Shivam for the summit, and for the conference we had Dr. Rama, Dr. Alok, and Vijendra. So I'm grateful to all of them for contributing so much to the success of the AIU North Zone Conference as well as the Bharat Nepal Higher Education Summit. I am particularly grateful to Kathmandu University for making our conference as a conference with a difference. For the first time, we saw this type of a cultural program. The day one cultural program was only a music instrument, and that created so much of harmony and so much of excitement. And I mean, it was really superb, the music program the first day and the cultural program yesterday. It was really different from what we observe in Indian universities. So thanks to both the cultural program coordinators as well as the students who participated and the team Kutumb who actually displayed the cultural program, and also the difference which we saw in terms of the session they used for meditation. So starting a conference with a meditation, today we also saw 10 minutes meditation. Yesterday also 10 minutes meditation was there along with the yoga performance. It was really, really superb. So that made the conference a conference with a difference. I'm also grateful for organizing this Bharat Nepal Higher Education Summit. This is for the first time for AIU that we are holding such a big summit. This is for the first time for the Kathmandu University that they are holding this type of a mega event. And it is a roaring success. I really thank you, and I also invite you to India for holding a sort of a parallel event called Nepal Bharat Higher Education Summit, so that we both are at par. So we want that we should be having a reciprocal arrangements in India also. So thank you very much. I know there were some hiccups with regard to some transportation issues and all, but when an event of such a mega scale happens, something is bound to happen. So please bear with us. Our apologies, the AIU's apologies for that. But everything else was very, very good. Transportation also, like first day we faced some problem, but after that it was well organized. I think it was not the lack of transportation, it was a lack of some miscommunication or coordination. That was the issue. But that is only one small hiccup. But ultimately, I mean, most of the things were very, very good. And when this Bharat Nepal Education Summit was happening, we also thought that we should be having a sort of a competition among the stalls. So today only we constitute a small committee to see and visit all the stalls, and then based on their visit, we can say give number 1, 2, 3 to the stalls. We can give them some, we will announce them and then we'll give them the certificates later. So we constituted a committee comprising of Professor B.R. Kamboj. He is the Vice Chancellor of Haryana Agricultural University and the member of Governing Council of AIU. The second member was Professor Nupur Prakash. She is the Vice Chancellor of North Cap University, and we wanted a international participation, so we kept Mr. Matthew Johnston. He is a Minister Counselor of Australian High Commission who gave a presentation yesterday. So these three people formed a team, and they visited each and every stall, and they saw the way the display was made, the way that students were inquiring about the various programs, and the way the explanations were being given to them. So based on all this, they selected 3 universities as first, second, and third. First university was Kathmandu University. So Kathmandu University got the first award for having the best stall and projecting many, many programs of Kathmandu University, and for blending traditional education with modern technology. So first prize went to Kathmandu University. The second prize went to one Indian university called Defense Institute of Advanced Technology. This is a DRDO university, DRDO funded university, and it's doing a lot of work on aerospace engineering and AI and machine learning. So a lot of inquiries were there from this university, and many students were finding it very, very interesting. And third university, which was also a surprise for me, was Centurion University. The Centurion University is in Orissa, and main purpose for giving award to this particular university was their international connect, and also for importing skill-based education. So these were the 3 universities which were selected as first, second, and third university for Bharat Nepal Higher Education Summit. Some of the takeaways, Dr. Achyut Wagle spoke about the takeaways. In 2-3 minutes, I'll just mention that we all, I mean, when we were talking for these 2 days, we all did realize that internationalization is very, very important important, not only for topmost universities, but for every university. Each and every university has to go in for internationalization. Right now, there is no second thought or there is no alternative. Every university has to go in for internationalization because the benefits are immense. If we count some of the benefits, they are like, it does help you in improving the academic life of the university, it helps you in improving the quality of research, it helps in cultural exchange, it helps in bringing diversity on the campuses, it helps in the, like even the economic benefits are there when you have foreign students. There's a lot of research going on which was presented by the experts that citation is better for the research papers which are published in collaboration with national and international faculty. A lot of competitiveness is there, global competition again ensures that the better quality is there. Second was that in countries like India and Nepal both, the number of outbound students is much more than the number of inbound students. So what do we need to do? What should we do? So both the countries, we need special efforts to ensure that the inbound students also increase. The way we have Bharat-Nepal Higher Education Summit, and then in future we are proposing Nepal-Bharat Higher Education Summit. Similarly, we can be having many more summits in various countries so that we are able to showcase our universities in all the nations. And once we showcase them, once they know that it is there, they can be going, and especially Kathmandu University, because it is a member of AIU, I'll request you that whatever summit we are holding anywhere in the world, you should always participate in that summit as a AIU member. We are also going to have from AIU side a lot of delegation visits to various universities in foreign countries so that there can be one-to-one collaboration between the two countries. We will be having higher education summits, education fairs. But one important thing is, like for example, if the students are coming in this summit, or if you are meeting the the vice chancellors and other faculty members of other universities, this is only a beginning. This is not the end. So do a lot of follow-up. If the follow-up is not there, all this work will go waste. So do a lot of follow-up, take their contact details, do a follow-up, then only the partnerships will work, then only you will get foreign students, foreign faculty. So follow-up has to be there. Similarly, now we are going to have foreign universities in India. Again, I will request that in India, we have something like 48,000 foreign students right now. 25% of them are coming from Nepal. Similarly, in Kathmandu University, a lot of Indian students are coming in, especially studying medicine over here. So what we feel is that when foreign universities come in India, for example, right now Deccan and Wollongong are the two universities, Australian universities, which are set up in India. So when Nepali students come to India for studying in Indian universities, they can also come to India for studying in foreign universities. Because right now, when they have to go to Australia, a lot of living expenses are there. And also in India, Australian universities are imparting the education at half the cost of what they impart in Australia. Therefore, if Nepali students want to go to foreign countries also, foreign universities also do come to India, because we will be having foreign universities in India, and that will again help our universities and foreign universities in, say, a lot of partnerships. Partnerships are easy when the university is on your own land. There can be a lot of student exchanges, teacher exchanges, there can be a lot of economic benefit also, and student retention will be there. Like the outbound students from both India and Nepal can reduce, because the number of students who are going to study in these foreign universities, they can come and study in foreign campuses in the Indian soil. So what we need to do, what the universities need to do is create an ecosystem in the university to attract students and faculty. Because if we want to promote internationalization, we need to create an ecosystem in the university. We need to create hostel infrastructure and small things like hygiene, food habits, what type of food is there, and then the sensitization of the students as well as the faculty towards the foreign students. We have to improve the academic quality, research, showcasing the university, not only within the campus, but on their websites, through pamphlets, through these education fairs, through the higher education summits. So a lot of showcasing of Indian universities is required. From AIU side, we have established INHI, we have established AIU collaboration portal. We are now stepping in for education fairs and these type of summits in various countries. So we will be doing it. We are also doing a lot of capacity building programs for the faculty and We are also proposing, why we are just working on it for the Vice Chancellors of India, we are proposing to have a program called LEAP of Government of India, in which 1 week training is in India and 1 week training is in foreign country. So we are talking to some agencies in the foreign nations who can develop a LEAP program for Indian Vice Chancellors so that they can get a training on how to effectively manage the university and how to promote internationalization in the university. So that we are working for. Maybe we will succeed very soon. We'll come out with the details and share it with all of you. So once again, thanks to Kathmandu University. And thanks to the entire team of Kathmandu University, especially the students who have really worked hard for this particular conference as well as the summit. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mittal, for elaborate description of what we did in the last 2 days. So just to add to what C mentioned here about the joint degree and international collaboration, I would like to add an initiative by Kathmandu University and Crown Institute of Higher Education Australia to offer Bachelor of Information Technology, a 2+2 arrangement, an Australian degree with that collaboration. So this is it, just one information. Now, I invite Professor Dr. G.D. Sharma, President of AIU, for his valedictory remarks.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to each one of you in this valedictory session of the North Zone VC's meet and the Bharat Nepal Higher Education Summit, in which we have the Honorable Minister Shri Ashok Kumar Rai ji, Honorable Minister of Education, Science and Technology, and Pro-Chancellor of Kathmandu University. We have Professor Bhola Thapa ji, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Kathmandu University, Dhulikhel, Nepal. Our guest of honor, Dr. Wagle ji, Registrar of Kathmandu University, Dr. Pankaj Mittal, Secretary General of AIU, officers of AIU, very highly respectable, honorable Vice Chancellors from India, Nepal, other countries, the representative from different countries, from Australia, Germany, Bhutan, Bangladesh, all respected dignitaries which have been here attending 2 days this meet and visiting the summit, where nearly 70 universities have taken part, and especially the faculty members, professors, scholars and students, very active volunteers of this university. On this 2 days meet, they have been very, very supportive, active, and treating each one of us as a Atiti Devo Bhava. So on behalf of AIU and on my behalf, I extend very warm welcome to Honorable Minister of Education, to all those who have been here taking part either in presentation or as a speaker, or they have made these different technical sessions a vibrant one. Before I say anything, first of all, I would like to pay my regards to the great deity Pashupati Nath, which brings together our ancient history, who also takes care of both our country, India and Nepal, and also see that whole world gets all those facilities living together, and that is how the concept of Vasudev Kutumbakam has been in practice in ancient Bharat. And now what we have seen, the right to table honorable Prime Minister yesterday, who inaugurated the meet and the summit, who has been very kind and given some of the great tasks to AIU as well as to Kathmandu University, that how we can work out the ways to arrest going to Western countries where our students go, and nearly 80 to 90% students, they do not return to our countries. So all our investment, both in terms of human resource, social, economical, cultural, they are going to other countries where they have to learn, live with different kind of culture. But you know, we have been very, very thoughtfully selected Nepal as our first approach of AIU, because historically, since ancient time, we have a strong cultural bonding, religious bonding, other social bonding. The language also is no barrier, free movement, no boundary, no visa, and therefore both the countries have the same philosophy of Atiti Deva Bhava. Because of such approach, the Bharat-Nepal Educational Summit and North Zone Vice Chancellors Meet is a first approach, bringing knowledge to the ground level, that means the youths, so that they get an exposure of our strength, so that they can know what are different areas which are having world famous quality in different universities. This was a just very small sample coming from different universities from India and from Nepal, also giving a comparative opportunity in this competitive world, that how they can maintain a balance between quality of education and also the maintenance of their own culture. This is required because ultimately higher education should create the feeling among the youth that they are future of the nations, as well as they have to not only seek the jobs, but they have to become the job creator. And they can become the job creator once they have the use of their knowledge in applying, finding solutions to the problem. And this problem can be studied when they are here, going to community, going to industries, and also coming out with the idea, the new ideas, that what we call it innovative ideas, bringing technology in finding the solutions. And this solution only will create new entrepreneurship. That is why the three type of degrees which have been mentioned, the joint degree or dual degree or the training degrees, or not even going for this type, but exchange at semester level, exchange at faculty level, using technology, organizing joint program, short program, and the advantage is that India being having diverse climate, in Nepal when the universities are having winter vacation, they can depute their faculty to those universities where there is no winter vacation, and from India where they have summer vacation, they can depute their faculty to Nepal where winter vacation is there. So in this way, without disturbing any their natural academic program, they can share this knowledge for short duration, for 2 weeks or 4 weeks program, and therefore there is need to work out on such joint approach of sharing knowledge, on creating the skills in having some kind of case studies which can be worked out jointly. So that means at policy level also, it needs to create that kind of smooth movement. In India, the latest national policy, that is NEP 2020, gives more autonomy to the universities to take decision at their own level through signing MOUs. Yesterday, it was announced by one of our chairmen that we can start with signing MOU so that it becomes an official document, sharing all those knowledge in different forms, either at faculty level, at student level, student exchange in different forms, or jointly organizing some workshop or seminar or taking some research project, either small or big or multi-national research project. This can only be possible and be beginning of this. As Secretary General Dr. Pankaj Mittal has also thought of taking Nepal Bharat Educational Summit, our university will be giving these facilities to host local, all those you are taking care, and I would like to request you that at Kathmandu University, other vice chancellors can have a small meeting and can decide the area also. What we have seen, there are certain areas where we find that some areas like Himalayan studies related to the climate, water resources, conservation of biodiversity, as well as related to those health issues can also be, can form the joint research project. And we have seen yesterday, today, the program started with the yoga. So yogic science again is an area where both the countries can give this strong support to foreigners, the foreign countries students. They can come together with those both the countries having specializations, where in India you may be knowing S. Vyas University has done lot of work joining this yoga with outcome at the biochemical level, at molecular level, and how much quantification of yoga should be done by each exercise. So that you can say if you do so many minutes or this one, what will be change and how you should follow, and you can give up other form of this one. So a number of this kind of these studies can be brought together. We have also seen very strong fine arts in Kathmandu University, where this terracotta work was inaugurated by all the vice chancellors. And this is another area of fine arts where cultural mixing, not only from these two countries, but also can be given to other foreign countries, where they will be taking the historical civilizational changes, connectivity in these two. As rightly said, that our strength is also indigenous knowledge, which can further give rise to create more startup, adding with scientifically the outcome and giving proper systematic application of that knowledge, which is already available. I may say that we know that Sushrut is the father of surgery. And this document of Sushrut is available only in Nepal. Just see how this traditional part of those knowledge are available. Who is the first in the whole world doing surgery of nose, transplanting nose with traditional instruments. So those knowledges which are thought and also given the name of myths were mythological, where a lot of research was done by our rishis, which is locked up as indigenous knowledge and technology, has another lot of areas to work together by both the countries, which can give more understanding, more also peaceful living togetherness, sharing through collaboration and cooperation, and also bringing the harmonious living with nature. So I am sure that these 2 days meet and also the first time Bharat-Nepal Educational Summit will give us more opportunity to work together, also give us to solve the problems. I would like to share that this new policy of 2020 has given enormous opportunity to youths in India, and the youths have created so much knowledge in the form of new entrepreneurship, in the form of startup. And in last 5 years, India has emerged as third biggest country in having a startup. It started with small incubators, startup, and now 111 unicorns are available. That means the youths are contributing nearly 30% of the economic development of the country. Whereas in US, it is about 55% of contribution by the youth by this type of education. So that means we have to take the shift from our classrooms to the finding solution to the society and also industries, so that new type of the entrepreneurs are produced. The traditional way of business is brought with the modern technology and also giving to the larger world. This type of meet, which has also given a number of suggestions to us, will also take care and create more facilitation to university system so that it becomes more vibrant. You have given so much patience in listening, giving your new ideas and support in making it a grand success. On behalf of AIU and my own behalf, I extend a heartfelt thanks to each one of you. Thank you very much and namaskar.
Thank you, Professor Sharma. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Ashok Kumar Rai, Honorable Minister of Education, Science and Technology, for his valedictory address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Master of the Ceremony. Professor Dr. Vala Thapa, Vice Chancellor of Kathmandu University. Professor Dr. G.D. Sharma, President of Association of Indian Universities. Professor Dr. Vinay Kumar Pathak, Vice President of Association of Indian Universities. Dr. Pankaj Mittal, Secretary General of AIU. Professor Dr. Achyut Wagle, Registrar of Kathmandu University. Vice Chancellors, academic leaders, faculty, and staff of various universities. Good afternoon. It is a great honor for me to attend this closing ceremony of the AIU North Zone Vice Chancellors meet at Kathmandu University. I wish I could have come earlier to attend some of the sessions and interacted with you all. I have been following it through the media and my colleagues. I am aware that the meet has made significant breakthroughs towards internationalizing higher education, particularly in the Asian and South Asian contexts. The meet has helped discuss the opportunities and challenges in fostering international cooperation and partnerships in higher education. The issues of increasing digital accessibility, opening advanced research hubs, and forming strategic alignment and doing collaborative research have come up as some major themes of the meet. I believe that these are important steps towards building a highly connected and globally competitive higher education landscape. Most of all, the meet has been instrumental towards reimagining higher education by putting internationalization at the center stage. This is a timely and important intervention, and I am glad that this intervention has started from Nepal. And I believe that Kathmandu University is the right place to start this conversation. For over 3 decades, Kathmandu University has been at the forefront of cutting-edge research, top-notch pedagogy, and a vibrant university culture. Kathmandu University's very foundation was possible through a wide collaboration with the international academic community. In time, Kathmandu University itself has evolved as a leader among Nepali universities when it comes to international outreach. The fact that Kathmandu University has already given degree to its first graduate in artificial intelligence this year stands testimony to the university's ability to adapt itself to changing times. With the advent of AI, the idea of education and knowledge, as we know, it has changed forever. As global educational institutions grapple with the opportunities and challenges brought about by AI, we have realized that our problems are not ours alone. There is, therefore, a need for harmonizing our policies and practices to take the challenges head on and build a shared future. But at the same time, it is also necessary to stay connected to our roots. So, as Right Honorable Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal and Professor Dr. Bhola Thapa suggested in their inaugural lectures, there is a need to bring the spotlight back on the ASEAN region. I second the proposal for an Asia-centric reimagination of our higher education. I urge my colleagues at Kathmandu University to work with academic leaders within Nepal to come up with a Nepali perspective on Asia centrism that looks at home and the world at the same time. I assure you that you will have the government's full support. I urge the officials of Kathmandu University to provide us with a report of the issues raised in this meet so that we can harmonize Nepal's higher education policy by keeping internationalization at center stage. I am thankful to Association of Indian Universities for organizing this important meet, and I thank Kathmandu University for hosting the meet. And I congratulate both the institutions for organizing this meet successfully. I thank every guest who has come to Nepal from various parts of the world. Without your presence, this program would not have been a success. And I hope that you had a beautiful stay in Dhulikhel. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Professor G.D. Sharma, AIU President, would like to felicitate the Vice Chancellor, Professor Bhola Thapa, Honorable Minister, and Professor Achyut Bagle, the Registrar. Thank you. I believe this to be a gesture of everlasting friendship, not only between the institutions, but also the individuals ahead. Now, for vote of thanks, I would like to invite Dr. Alok Kumar Misra from AIU.
सबसे पहले तो भगवान पशुपतिनाथ की धरती और इस महान देश नेपाल को गढ़ने में सतत संलग्न ये काठमांडू विश्वविद्यालय के प्रांगण में सभी उपस्थित लोगों को मेरा सादर नमन। सभी को नमस्कार। हम सब आप आदरणीय कुलपति महोदय की उपस्थिति से बहुत गौरवान्वित हैं और आपकी यहाँ इस 2 दिवसीय जो ये हमारी नॉर्थ जोन वाइस चांसलर मीट रही उसमें उपस्थिति के लिए हम बहुत बहुत हृदय से आभारी हैं। हम आपके लिए हृदय जोड़ के हाथ जोड़ करके आपका धन्यवाद अदा करते हैं AIU परिवार की तरफ से आपका और काठमांडू विश्वविद्यालय की तरफ से बहुत बहुत आपका धन्यवाद। हम बहुत बहुत कृत्य रूप से जो है हम आपके लिए ऋणी हैं। हम बहुत बहुत आभारी हैं आपके जो है और आगे भी आपके इस तरह सहयोग की हम अपेक्षा करते हैं। ये आज किस समापन समारोह में देश के नेपाल देश के आप माननीय शिक्षा मंत्री और टेक्नोलॉजी मिनिस्टर भी आप हैं। आपने जिस प्रकार से इस व्यस्तम समय में आपने समय निकाल करके इस समापन समारोह को एक ऊंचाई प्रदान की है, वो हम सबको एक नई ऊर्जा और एक नई शक्ति देती है। आप माननीय अशोक कुमार राय जी को हृदय से बहुत बहुत आभार, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। ये कार्यक्रम बहुत सारी लोगों की एक संयुक्त शक्ति और संयुक्त रूप से जुड़कर कार्य करने के कारण संपन्न होता है और जिस प्रकार से यहाँ हुआ है इसमें बहुत सारे लोगों का सहयोग और बहुत सारे लोगों का जो है अवदान रहा है। ये मैं सभी को कुछ महत्वपूर्ण जो लोग हैं जिन्होंने इस प्रकार से सबके आप सामने देखा है किस प्रकार से ये कार्यक्रम में की संरचना से लेकर के और यहाँ तक पहुँचने में लगातार AIU परिवार की तरफ से हमारे जो शीर्ष रूप में जो है और GD शर्मा सर हैं जो लगातार उनका मार्गदर्शन और लगातार वो हमें प्रेरणा देते रहते हैं। सर आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। हम आदरपूर्वक आपको धन्यवाद करते हैं। और जैसा कि आपने देखा कि हमारी जो आदरणीय महासचिव महोदय सेक्रेटरी जनरल महोदय हैं, आपकी तत्परता और निष्ठा लगातार कैसे कार्यक्रम उत्कृष्ट बने, कैसे सबको जो है वो हर चीज़ उनको सहज और सुलभ हो, कैसे चर्चाएं चले। मैडम लगातार आप इस कार्यक्रम में लगातार उपस्थित रही हैं, लगातार उसको जुम देती रही हैं किस प्रकार से हर चीज़ हो सके और व्यक्तिगत तौर पे लोगों के हालचाल की किसी को कहीं असुविधा तो नहीं हो रही है। फिर भी तमाम सारी कुछ ऐसी कार्यक्रम में होता है तो मैडम ने व्यक्तिगत तौर पे भी आपसे जो है वो क्षमा प्रार्थना भी की अगर कहीं आपको कहीं अगर किसी प्रकार की असुविधा हुई है तो हम सब उसके लिए विनयपूर्वक जो है क्षमा भी मांगते हैं आपसे कहीं कुछ ऐसी त्रुटि रह गई हो। तो मैडम के नेतृत्व में लगातार नए शीर्ष को गढ़ता भारतीय विद्यालय संघ एक नई ऊंचाइयों की तरफ देख रहा है और शिक्षा के संस्थान भी आपकी तरफ एक नई दृष्टि से देख रहे हैं। मैडम आपकी तत्परता निष्ठा और जिस प्रकार से आप काम कर रहे हैं आपकी ऊर्जा को सलाम और हम सब चाहते हैं आपको ईश्वर और ऊर्जा दे जिससे कि आप विद्यालय संघ को और मजबूत कर सके और इसको नई ऊंचाइयों नई बुलंदियों पे ले जा सके। आपका एक बार पुनः पुनः धन्यवाद और नमस्कार। इस हम लोग प्रांगण में हैं और हमने कहा कि ये शिक्षा के द्वारा विश्व में एक अच्छे नागरिक बन सकें, ऐसे विश्व में अच्छे नागरिक कैसे उत्पन्न हो और उसमें इस काठमांडू विश्वविद्यालय के बड़े ही डायनामिक आदरणीय वाइस चांसलर साहब भोला थापा साहब वो इतने ही भोले हैं और शिव की इस धरती पर हैं, वो साक्षात भगवान शिव की तरह यहाँ विराजमान और अपनी मुस्कुराहट के साथ सब कुछ सहजता के साथ आपने जो है हर चीज़ को व्यवस्थित किया है और जिस तत्परता के साथ आप जहाँ विद्यालय को ऊंचाई दे रहे हैं इस महान देश नेपाल को उत्कृष्ट बनाने में ये विद्यालय लगा हुआ है, ये भी देख करके इसकी उत्कृष्टता इसकी इमारतें बोल रही किस तरह से काम यहाँ पे हुआ है, किस प्रकार शिक्षा व्यवस्था उत्कृष्ट यहाँ पे है। तो आपके नेतृत्व में नेपाल देश को भी एक बहुत ऊंचाई मिल रही है। इच्छा संसाधन, अच्छे शिक्षा का जो आप यहाँ अवदान दे रहे हैं, उसके लिए भी आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत आभार है आपका। इसी के साथ साथ इस पूरी संरचना में हम लोगों के साथ में इस विश्वविद्यालय के बड़े ही ओजस्वी और बड़े ही प्रखर माननीय रजिस्ट्रार महोदय प्रोफेसर बागले साहब, प्रोफेसर अच्युत बागले साहब आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत आभार संपूर्ण इस सभागार तरफ से जो लोग उपस्थित हैं कि आपने लगातार इसकी तत्परता बनाई रखी और इवन दिल्ली आकर के भी इसकी योजनाओं संयोजनाओं में आपने अपना व्यक्तिगत तौर पे कैसे इसे अच्छा बनाए उसमें लगातार लगे रहे। और ये सब कुछ मुझे लगता है जिस प्रकार ये दृढ़ता साथ, तो एक तरफ भोले शंकर जी थे और एक तरफ अच्युतानंद हम कहते हैं भगवान विष्णु, तो भगवान विष्णु और शिव दो रूप में जो है इस हमारे समारोह को देख रहे थे, तो हम देखते हैं कितना प्यार और कितना स्नेह आपने दिया है। हम सब बहुत हृदय से आभारी हैं। और ये कार्यक्रम की रूपरेखा में यहाँ पर हमारे बीच डॉक्टर उद्धव साहब और प्रोफेसर ध्रुवा साहब मुझे लगता है यहाँ उपस्थित होंगे। अगर खड़े हो जाएं तो मैं समझूंगा बहुत अच्छा होगा। एक बार सब लोग पुनः आपके इस अवदान को देख लेंगे। आपने जिस प्रकार से काम किया है सबको जो है वो ज्ञान भी होना चाहिए। और डॉक्टर गोचरन जी भी अगर यहाँ उपस्थित हों तो मैं चाहूँगा कि वो खड़े हो जाएं। और मैडम डॉक्टर सरस्वती जी, डॉक्टर निर्मला जी जो मीडिया और इन वीडियो को देख रही हैं, आपको भी बहुत बहुत आभार, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आप सबने बड़ी तत्परता के साथ सारे कार्यक्रमों का संयोजन किया है। और इन सब के साथ साथ जो सारे बच्चे, जो सारे वॉलंटियर्स हैं, वो बहुत इनोसेंट हैं मैं कहूँगा, बट बड़ी विनम्रता, बड़ी कहूँगा उनकी जो मैं कहूँगा कि उन्होंने अपना समय दिया और लगातार यहाँ वहाँ में जो है हमेशा वो लगातार खड़े रहे। तो मैं उन सब बच्चों का बहुत धन्यवाद करना चाहूँगा। पूरी टीम, जो पूरी मीडिया टीम है और यहाँ की जो पूरी आईटी टीम है, यहाँ पर जो पीछे जो लोग इस माइक और इस आईटी सिस्टम को संभाल रहे हैं, उन सभी को भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि आप सबने सतत रूप से इस कार्यक्रम को सुगम बनाने में हमेशा अपना सहयोग दिया है। आपका बहुत बहुत आभार है। और ये जो कार्य यहाँ पर उपस्थित लोग चीज़ें हैं, इनके साथ साथ जो है हमने ये देखा यहाँ पर जो रिपोर्टियर्स है, यहाँ इस पूरे कार्यक्रम की जो रिपोर्ट बनी उसके हमारे रिपोर्टियर्स अगर बीच में खड़े हों यहाँ पे, मैं चाहूँगा कि वो खड़े हो जाएं तो बहुत अच्छी बात है। तो आपका भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि आपने इस पूरी जो चर्चा रही, उस पर चर्चा को आपने जो है हमेशा अपने कलमबद्ध करते रहे। आप अंदर से हमें हम आभार करते हैं। और आपको मालूम है कि ये कार्यक्रम जहाँ यहाँ पे हो रहा, वहीं पीछे एआईयू परिवार के बहुत सारे लोग इसको भी सहयोग कर रहे हैं। पीछे ऑफिस में भी यहाँ पर हमारे साथ जो है यहाँ उपस्थित मैडम रमा पानी जी आशीन है यहाँ पर। रमा पानी जी जो है वो लगातार जो आपने विश्वविद्यालय की, भारतीय जल संघ की जो आप यूनिवर्सिटी न्यूज़ देखते हैं, लगातार आपके हाथों द्वारा लगातार हर सप्ताह आप तक पहुंचती है और इस कार्यक्रम में लगातार जो है आपका सहयोग एकेडमिक रूप में रहता है। मैडम आपका बहुत बहुत आभार, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि आप सहजता के साथ हर रूप में तत्पर रहते हैं और हमेशा जो है चीज़ों को सुगम बनाने में आप सहयोग करते हैं। विजयन जी हमारे साथी हैं साथ। विजयन जी अगर खड़े हों, मैं चाहूँगा खड़े हो जाएँ, जो लगातार आपके कोऑर्डिनेशन में हर चीज़ को हम तक जो है आपसे लगातार जुड़े रहते हैं और हर चीज़ में उनकी पूरी, आपने देखा होगा कि हर कम्युनिकेशन आपको समय में मिलता रहता है। तो मैं विजयन जी आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूं, हमारे साथ में उपस्थित यहाँ पर हैं। और साथ साथ यहाँ पर शिवम दीक्षित जी मैं चाहूँगा खड़े हो जाएं। शिवम दीक्षित जी, और आप हमारी आईटी जो टीम है और उसके हेड हैं और यहाँ उपस्थित हैं। और पूरे जो हमारा जो भारत नेपाल का हमारा जो समिट भी है उसको भी आप पूरे देख रहे हैं यहाँ पर। इनके साथ साथ हमारे साथ में डॉक्टर अमीन पानी साहब उपस्थित हैं। डॉक्टर अमीन पानी साहब अगर उपस्थित, मैं चाहूँगा खड़े हो जाएँ। आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद पानी साहब। आप लगातार इस चीज़ों में दोनों तरफ आप पूरा सहयोग दे रहे हैं और एक तरफ आप समिट को भी संभाल रहे हैं और फेयर को भी संभाल रहे हैं वहाँ पे। तो इनके साथ साथ हमारे बहुत सारे साथी जो मैं कहूँगा नीचे कंडीशन में रहते हैं। एसडी ऑफिस में वहाँ निशान जी हैं जो सेक्रेटरी जनरल ऑफ पीपीएस वहाँ पर हैं और वहीं पर हमारे कुलदीप डागर साहब हैं, वहाँ पे मजहा साहब ज्वाइंट सेक्रेटरी हैं। डॉक्टर शेखर साहब हैं, स्पोर्ट्स इनिशिएटिव को देखते हैं, वहीं पर हमारे साथ लगातार आप लोगों के संपर्क में विभिन्न रूप में रहते हैं। रंजना जी हैं जो हमारी ज्वाइंट सेक्रेटरी हैं फाइनेंस की वहाँ पर, और ऐसे ही संदीप जी और हमारे अन्य जो है साथी वहाँ उपस्थित हैं। तो उन सभी को बहुत आभार, वो ऑनलाइन माध्यम से शायद पूरे कार्यक्रम को देख रहे हैं। उन सभी लोगों को एक तरफ जहां हम आभार व्यक्त करते हैं, वहीं मैं कहना चाहूँगा कि आप सबकी यहाँ उपस्थिति से और परिचर्चा से ये महान विश्वविद्यालय का जो हॉल है, ये ऊर्जा से, ज्ञान से जो है झंकृत हो चुका है। आप अपने शब्दों के द्वारा बहुत कुछ अंकित करके जा रहे हैं और वो स्मृतियों के रूप में हम सब ने कहीं संजोया भी है और आगे इसे और उत्कृष्ट ले जाने के लिए हमने कहीं पर उसे और संकल्प लिया है कि और अच्छा इसे करेंगे। आप अपने फीडबैक को, अपनी जो कहीं हम और अच्छा कर सके, उसे देते रहें। आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत आभार यहाँ उपस्थित होने के लिए। नमस्कार, जय हिंद, जय नेपाल। यहाँ मैं एक नाम मैं लेना चाहूँगा। इस पूरे कार्यक्रम को एंकरिंग को कर रहे सर को मैं आपको धन्यवाद करना चाहूँगा। सर आप सबके सामने रहे तो ये क्योंकि एक साथ सारे नामों को ध्यान रख पाना, याद रख पाना कई बार होता है, लेकिन सर यहाँ पे इंग्लिश के प्रोफेसर भी हैं। हमारी कल मुलाकात हुई और आपने हर चीज़ को कितने आत्मीयता के साथ, कहीं किसी दिक्कत नहीं, परेशानी नहीं। तो हमने कहा कई बार होता है कि जो अनाउंस करता है हमारा ध्यान कहीं पर जो है वो मिस कर जाता है, बट हम आपका बहुत बहुत आभार, बहुत धन्यवाद करते हैं। आपने बहुत सुगम तरीके से संचालन किया है ना। और इस जो मंच और आदरणीय मंच यहाँ उपस्थित है, उन सभी को एक बार मैं पुनः नमस्कार करता हूँ और आप सबको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जो भी यहाँ पे सिक्योरिटी में लोग रहे हैं, जो यहाँ संसाधन में रहे हैं, इवन देन जो ड्राइवर्स रात में गाड़ी चला करके उसमें उसे रहे हैं, मैं उन सभी ड्राइवर्स को भी धन्यवाद करता हूँ जो हमें बड़े सुरक्षित तरीके से उन्होंने पहुँचाया। हम चाहते हैं कि हम अपने गंतव्य तक, जहाँ तक सब लोग आए निकल करके, इस व्यस्तम समय में सभी लोग निकल करके आए हैं। और आप कितने महान हैं, ये आप ईश्वर के महान हैं कि आपको किसी विद्यालय को हेड करने का मौका मिला है। और मुझे लगता है इसके द्वारा विश्व को एक अच्छे नागरिक बनाने की जो यह एक जिम्मेदारी भगवान ने दी है, और आप उसमें से कैसा चिंतन विचार करके जा रहे हैं, वो जो है मुझे लगता है कि वो जो चिंतन है वो आगे आपके विद्यालय के लिए भी बहुत कुछ प्रदान करने वाला होगा। और आप यहाँ जाने के बाद जो है कुछ नए विचार, नई शक्ति देंगे। आपको एक बार हम पुनः आभार और बहुत धन्यवाद करते हैं। नमस्कार, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you, Dr. Misra. It's so kind of you. I hope you did not miss any names, but I was just thinking if I have to do anything about this. So I would particularly like to acknowledge the help of some members from the local community, basically the local community from Bandul and Bokundul, who had felicitated our guests at the gate, and also Dr. Lina Gurung, our colleague from School of Education, who coordinated tirelessly to bring together different cultural groups for this cultural jhanki or procession. And obviously, for yesterday's performance, Nepal Police, we, on behalf of Kathmandu University and AIU, would like to thank the Nepal Police heartily for their very, very exciting and pleasant performance yesterday. With this, I would like to close the session, but before that, we'll play the national anthems of Nepal and India. But before that, on behalf of the organizing bodies of Kathmandu University, I myself being the coordinator of the Program Operation Committee, that really meant being inside and facilitating all this communication aspect, would like to mention a few things that we Nepalis in particular, I would talk on behalf of Nepalis, are very particular about friendship. We take friendship to the level of expecting so passionately that little adversities are very easily taken and reciprocated with collaboration, cooperation. And we have experienced that a lot in our past international conferences and even this time. And we appreciate all the guests for being so much helpful, so cooperative, despite a few inconsistencies or inconveniences which were purely human and unintended for creating inconveniences. Thank you for tolerating us, and thank you for being very good friends as we are and will remain. So, as I said yesterday, and even day before yesterday, this is the third of a very important event organized for on behalf of Association of Indian Universities at Kathmandu University venue. The first being the 1996 BC meeting, the second 2008 Southwest third, and this one. So we are very happy for being, let's say, a part of Association of Indian Universities and being able to participate in its different programs, and also would express our commitment to be a part of similar kinds of ventures in the future. With this, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you, dignitaries on the dais, for gracing us with your valuable presence. And thank you, all volunteers, people in the control room, and okay. So I just have an information. Professor Sharma, on behalf of AIU, would felicitate the minister. Over to you, sir. And Dr. Pankaj Mittal. Okay, yes, Dr. Dhruva Gochan. You are wanted there on stage. And Dr. Uddhav Pakurela. Thank you. I think I should take this opportunity because after playing the national anthem, it would be not very practical to start speaking again. We'll go for lunch after that, and after that we'll go for sightseeing. So there are two venues for sightseeing today. Bhaktapur, that takes only half an hour to reach, and you'll see the central city, Darbar Square, and old architecture there. And I have got this information, that's where the famous movie Hare Rama, Hare Krishna was also filmed long ago. And the second venue is Pashupatinath area. And if you wish, you can also observe the Arati at 6:30 p.m. It takes 1.5 hours to reach there. And the more exciting destination is Tamil, shopping and moving around. Sorry that I had to say. So I request all my technical friends to play the national anthem of Nepal and India together. Yeah, one after the other. Thank you very much. I take your leave.
Thunga fulka हामी एउटै माला नेपाली सार्वभौमै फैलिएका मेची महाकाली सायौं थुङ्गा फुलका हामी एउटै माला नेपाली सार्वभौमै फैलिएका मेची महाकाली प्रकृतिका कोटि कोटि सम्पदाको आचरा वीरहरूका रगतले स्वतन्त्र ज्ञान भूमि शान्ति भूमि तराई पहाड हिमाल अखण्ड यो प्यारो हाम्रो मातृभूमि नेपाल बहु जाति भाषा धर्म संस्कृति छ विशाला अग्रगामी राष्ट्र हाम्रो जय जय नेपाल जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
All Vice Chancellor requested for a group photograph and a stage. All Vice Chancellor, just आगे आगे आ जाए. मुझे लगता है कुछ लोग नीचे खड़े हो जाएं और कुछ ऊपर आ जाएं. सभी वाइस चांसलर्स और कमेटी के जो ऑर्गेनाइजिंग मुख्य लोग रहे हैं,
काठमाडौँ विश्वविद्यालय गान छ भने बजाइदिनु होला. काठमाडौँ विश्वविद्यालय गान छ, बजाइदिनुस् न.